Guys. Guys, what is up? Great to see everybody. Great to see everybody. Gang's all here, folks. Gang is all here. How's everybody doing? We got a big one. We got a big one for everyone tonight here. Boop. Let me get some lights going. Okay, guys. No time to waste tonight. We have a major, important investigation. Like many of you, I'm very distressed with things I'm seeing in the Starseed network right now, the Starseed net link. A lot of disturbing things going on in that case right now. We will address it later because we do have our sort of top case for the night to dwell into. Does my hat look sufficiently light-skinned? I would say yes. That seemed appropriate. Yes, we do have to save her. That is on the docket. We will be saving her in maybe like an hour or two. First, we do have to take down the usurper, Quentin Tarantino. And yes, Wallums, I am aware of that. It's some very sick stuff I was seeing in the Discord earlier. Obviously, I'm very distressed. My head is spinning, as I'm sure all of yours are as well. But obviously, we do have to tap into our sort of main case of the night, and then hopefully in, I don't know, maybe the last hour, we'll be able to save our Princess Starseed from the astral realm, where the vicious, I shouldn't say it off the top, but the F-slur Kavi is really up to some very sinister business, which we will be addressing later. Yes, I know, guys, I'm upset too. We're all exceptionally upset. Whoa! Yeah, basically, Myron, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Oh, thank you for the big 2, Goblin. Please share Starseed video sent you from Graham. Oh, okay, yeah, I can. Instagram is awful, and I hate it. I have a couple sort of light and airy and fun videos that we can maybe look at to top it off here. Where's the one that you sent me from? Okay, there's. Because, we're going to be getting into some pretty heavy stuff tonight, guys, basically. Yeah, it's significantly worse than the Holocaust. Kavi, the evil seducer, an evil warlock, perhaps, of sorts. Showa Seed 1488, a lot of people are saying that. Yo, what's up, Jokester? Yeah, a lot of people, everybody really enjoyed the Sonic Wednesday stream. We got some very positive responses from it. It was very popular. But you know what? I think we're going to be getting into some really heavy stuff tonight. Obviously, we're all very worried about Starseed. But the thing is, we have to be sort of happy warriors, So I think we have to get our heads screwed on straight and correct before we can save her. Kind of like, we have to, it's like, you got to work on yourself sometimes. Sometimes you have to work on yourself before you can save a woman from like an evil sorcerer, which we will be doing. But we also have to take down Quentin, and I'm just gonna say it right off the top, guys. I have a feeling the two cases might be connected, so everyone's gonna want to have their notebooks out. All the Quentin Tarantino information that we gather tonight as we take him down, I think is going to be relevant to the Starseed case, which is going to be relevant to the James Rink case. I'm sure a lot of you are suspecting this, but I would say that Evil Lord Kavi has really moved into the prime suspect in the murder of James Rink. I think that's pretty clear at this point, but we're going to be gathering evidence which we can then send to the authorities. We will be filing an FBI complaint against him for, I don't know, human trafficking, maybe trickery, an FBI case for trickery. But anyway, guys, before right off the top though, I do have that video you sent me, Goblin, but I also had a couple other ones I wanted to check out. This was one I kind of kept on thinking about. This was Dr. Peanut Butter sent this, and my understanding is this guy was in the Starseed chat. So I think he's pretty relevant to this case. So we're just going to check this out really quickly. It's got a little bit of like an introduction, but it is definitely worth it. I have a feeling this is a guy we could probably draw in as an ally against Lord Coffee. But let's just check this out real quickly here.
I'm going to be playing guitar like I normally do, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of different thing today. Got a little bit of a personal story with this one, so...
This is just for context. This is a fellow Starseed 1488 enjoyer who is also trying to save her. In his case, we do it via investigation. He does it through music, kind of just two different paths to the same beautiful ending, where one of us, or maybe even him, gets her hand in marriage, which is obviously the goal of all of this.
If you're listening, thank you. So I'm going to be playing a part of a song from the second Flood the Desert record called Where the Red Poppies Grow. I'm going to be playing an excerpt, how do you say it, from the title track. It was recorded in 2021. I'm going to give some context to that situation. I was in the worst, brutalest moment. You call it a dark night of the soul.
It's a bit of context. It is worth it, trust me.
My last remaining immediate biological family member, I do have some other family members floating out there, was losing his battle with cancer, my older brother, and he was the only person in my immediate family that I really had a good relationship with. Decent with my mom, off and on. My dad, no. Like I said, there's some people floating out there, but he was the only one that I really vibed with. Looked up to him in a lot of ways, and to add insult to injury, the last couple of years before that, we weren't getting along. We grew apart. We weren't even...
Quick. Where did you send that message, Jokester? I did not see it. What challenge? Are we going to do a hot chip challenge or something? I haven't seen it, but yeah, I might have just missed it.
Talking. So, that was the backdrop. He was in Flood the Desert playing keys at that time. That was the backdrop to Where the Red Poppies Grow. We wrote...
Yeah, we're definitely not doing a dick measuring contest. we're not doing that.
Song together. I wrote all the music. He wrote... sorry, the sustainer's gone. He wrote the lyrics, but I wrote the vocal melodies. Zach wrote his vocal melodies on the chorus. The song is about war and death, and also life and rebirth. More or less, the battlefields of World War I. Years later, flowers grew on them, red poppies, so to speak. I have gotten, my soul has gotten to the red poppies on the battlefield part. I'm no longer in those dark, horrific, awful.
And just to reiterate, for context, this is a song that he wrote to cast a sort of white hat SSP spell to try and save our girl, Starseed Netlink, in her time of dire need, just for context.
Times. I am blessed beyond belief for many reasons. There's been people, connections, places, events, things, opportunities, podcasts, you name it, that I've been a part of the last 3 or 4 years, maybe in 5 years.
He'll start the song soon. This is important context.
I've talked to them either in person, gotten them gifts, or maybe even had too much to drink and asked them to have ice cream with me and made an ass of myself. But either way, they all mean the world to me. Blessings. I'm in the flower phase of the broken battlefield, and I'm so just happy to be here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play like a solo arrangement, a bit of the outro. It's in 6/8 time. It's in B major. I'm using major seventh chords, and I'm gonna riff on it for a bit. And the stuff I get to play on that section, it's the last 5-6 minutes of that song.
listen, I can see some of you guys getting antsy in chat when you hear his beautiful music that is designed as a magical spell to save a princess named Starseed 1488. It's all going to make sense. And you'll feel very uplifted, and it'll give you the spiritual fortitude to make it through the rest of this stream.
After all the war and death, the life and rebirth, it's the most beautiful fucking shit I have ever played on any fucking instrument. This is Tiffany, named after a middle school crush from Westlake Middle School. I got her tattooed on my arm here. Sentimental. Never even told her how I felt. But I'm going to play it. I got some...
Very powerful. Definitely. If you have a middle school crush, you never ever want to get rid of it. You do want to get a giant full sleeve to represent that. Just very good advice.
Delay on it to thicken things up just because it's that kind of arrangement. But here it is for y'all.
All right, get ready, y'all.
To where the red poppies grow, and this is where the poppies grow on the fields of death and destruction, literally and figuratively.
If you got a lighter, now's the time to hold it up, y'all. Oh, yeah. This is music as he's playing. The shackles on Starseed's arms are cracking. Riding into battle to save her from the dark forces of Kavi. Getting so hyped up. Songs to fuck slow to real. He's putting everything into it. Exactly, sending his spirit to her. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Loosh status rising. I mean, if anything can save her, it is this guitar shred. You know, let's be real. Oh yeah. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. We're all powered up now. Our Vril is maxed. Our Loosh is overflowing, some might say. But yeah, I just thought that'd be good to get us started up here, because obviously we're going into some heavy and, dare I say, exceptionally dangerous places right now. So I thought we needed some power to get us over the finish line. And yeah, Jokester, I will check out your message after the stream. I'm not usually much of a hot. You're saying it's a hot noodle challenge. I'll look into it. I'll look into it later. We'll check that out later. But yeah, somebody just pointed out something good that we have not liked the stream yet. Very distressing. Very distressing stuff. So let's just do that. Did Starseed literally change her name? Did Kavi force her to change her name? It's honestly so sick and twisted what's going on there right now, but real quick, y'all. Real quick, let's all like the stream. Real quick, y'all. Real quick, let's all like the stream. Like the stream, y'all. Real quick, let's all like the stream. Now's your chance. Now is your last chance, in fact. Now's your chance. Now is your last chance. Do it now. It's time to like the stream. Let's all like the stream right now. Do it now. Do it now. It's time to like the stream. Let's all like the stream right now. Yo, what's up, Strand? Do we have another, guys, a second Norwegian has hit the chat. Welcome. Willkommen. Very cool. Very cool. Whoa, indeed. A second Norwegian, guys. We're collecting them like infinity stones. 22 likes, not bad. That does mean there are 8 freeloaders. I'm one of them. I will rectify that now. You guys know who you are. And listen, if you don't like the stream, you don't get to have any of the power from that song we just listened to, okay? And if you don't want that incredible spiritual energy flowing through your body, that's on you. That's not really my problem. So, do it for yourself, Do it for yourself. Yeah, it could be Cavi. I think I have a feeling that he is aware of us. He knows that we're on to him, and we're going to... I mean, listen, I can't actually say that publicly, but he knows we're on to him. He knows that he's in grave danger, shall I say, to be discreet. So that's something... he's going to start moving against us, guys, basically. So everyone's going to have to steel themselves for that possibility. Please do more merch. Yeah, merch is... You want a Jew? Man, everybody wants the Jew Israel shirt all of a sudden. Yeah, we'll probably do more merch at some point. We're just kind of, lazy and stupid and stuff. Thank you for pointing out my mustache. I'm sort of going with a little goatee to hide my double chin, which I think is pretty smart and strategic. In fact, hat looks like the head of the drinking out of the cups lizard on top of your head. Awesome. Well, since we're doing a Quentin Tarantino one, I thought the backwards hat would be rather flavorful. Should have done a 1K subscriber merch drop. Yeah, well, this summer we'll get around to it at some point. At some point we'll get to it, guys. But anyway, I think that now that we're all sort of spiritually settled, we're full of frill, we can get into our top story. So, for those of you who were here last week, you open the file name No. You shan't be tricking me that easy, oddly peculiar, if that is your name, Cavi, Mr. Cavi. So, yeah, if you were here last week, you got the introduction to our new friend of the show, Brian Jennings, a.k.a. Critical Sorcerer, who has some very disturbing allegations against former friend of the show, Quentin Tarantino. Very disturbing and sinister allegations are being bandied about. Yeah, we need... Yeah... Hex and Strand can talk Norwegian, and none of us will know it. They're going to be saying mean things about us in Norwegian, I think. But yeah, last week we got the introduction to Mr. Brian Jennings. So for those of you who don't know, Brian is a virtuoso guitarist, singer, printmaker, writer, and actor who donates his spare time to good causes, writing, calligraphy, thank you. So I didn't quite get the full grasp of the story of what was going on with him. That's what we're going to find out here tonight. But my understanding is Quentin Tarantino, the liar, the usurper, Quentin Tarantino, has somehow really wronged him, and now he has to write his own version of the Movie Critic or something. Hexagon and Strand are talking. They're saying mean things about us in Norwegian right now. Okay, fun fact, Grammy, regarding can we get an early life check on Tarantino? He's the rare case where it's actually the late life check. Interestingly enough, that's gonna reveal certain results. Typically, it's more of an early life check that'll have that, but in his case, it is the late life check. Somewhat interesting. So yeah, our friend Brian has 539 videos that we're gonna have to get through in the next hour and a half. But first, we're gonna check out his Kickstarter he has here. Yes, late life Jewish convert like Trump. Exactly. Whoa. So yeah, we're gonna check this out. Then we'll get into the Brian stuff, and we'll see where our investigation takes us from there. And then later on in the show, we will be saving Starseed Netlink, so you're gonna want to stay tuned for that. So let's check out the video here for his movie, for the Movie Critic, a shot-for-shot remake. I have to sue any and every person or institution associated with Quentin Tarantino, and the film will be made with the with the proceeds. Okay, excellent. Let's just check out his video here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Kickstarter campaign video. My name is Brian Jennings, and I suppose
Wallums, what are you doing? No, Wallums, no!
Saying that everything that I've done has been to protect my life, protect the sovereignty of my mind, my soul.
Okay, and just again for context, this is his Kickstarter campaign. You guys are just throwing... guys. It's pointed at my own head, by the way. But
enough time.
Okay, so this should be a good introduction to the legal case. All right, I'll catch you later, jokester. I'll check out your message later, and we'll figure out what's going on there.
Level.
Yeah, take her easy, man.
Expectations. This campaign is to pay for lawsuits that they can never stop. I have to sue people forever, right? But in exchange for their settling, because they'll all settle.
And also, guys, all the donations you throw my way on this stream will be donated directly to Brian Jennings' legal campaign against the liar and usurper Quentin Tarantino.
I'm gonna make a shot-for-shot remake of the Movie Critic. Right? Quentin Tarantino's 10th and final film, which will be announced as the Movie Critic on April Fool's Day.
He does have the doorbell Chudjack face.
That?
Real.
Because that movie is poisoned with my soul.
Yo, what's up, Tom Child?
That it ends with my scene, if not the actual ending, then thereabout. Right? It's got my lines all through it. And everyone who is in the film.
Oh, Zace, do you watch the live-action Yu-Gi-Oh movie? That's awesome. It's great, right?
Exerted a real Herculean level of psychic pressure over humiliating me and trying to destroy me. And so, right, knowing that that's the case, knowing that it's this sick, hideous thing, I've written a second novel. It's called Building a Coven, as in a coven of witches, a clairvoyant formula for time travel. Building a Coven, a clairvoyant formula for time travel. And the character is, the protagonist is me. His name is Max, and he's got two witches. And they're hot and awesome.
Sorry, did I miss something? Because this is his remake of the Movie Critic, where the main character is him, and he has two witches. Okay, I did not realize that's what the Movie Critic was about. That's what it was about, but we're learning here, right? We're gathering information, like I said earlier, so I can put it in a file to send to the FBI. So
right, and so that stems from Quentin. Like, Quentin's a dirty old man, right? And he's got the hottest witches in the game, doesn't he? And so
let's okay, we're just gonna do a quick fact check here, guys. We're hearing reports that Quentin Tarantino has the hottest witches in the game. Let's just look up his wife real quick. Tarantino wife. Okay, what do we think, guys? Is this one of the hottest witches in the game? His novel is about assembling a hot coven of witches. True. What do you think, guys? Is she the witch? I believe for sure. I feel like I've seen hotter witches. She looks like Meadow Soprano. True. Hugh, can you put P in your search bar and show what comes up as a suggestion? No. We won't be playing any games like that. Shabos Golem for her. Yeah, I mean, I'm also kind of surprised that she's not black. I mean, I got kind of heavy... From watching his movies, you would assume that he's like a Bill Maher guy. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But no, apparently he's a what's a reverse? What's like a reverse Bill Maher guy called? You know, like a non-Jewish guy who converts. Did he convert? We don't know. Yeah, Black Respect. True, a Bill Maher style kid lover production style guy. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so yeah, hottest witches in the game. You heard it from Brian first. He lives in Israel. True.
I wrote the novel, again, all just to resolve it, right? Without lawyers, just like between us, right? Because I know he's using that scene. And I suspect now that his agency was lied to in a big way, that he told them that he paid me a long time ago. And they did nothing to confirm it. Didn't make a single goddamn phone call. Right? And so now, I feel that I have to talk about it. Right? And so, I'm going to be reading these last pages
What's
of the
on
appendix.
His bookshelf? The only word I can make out is revolution there. Other than that, I can't see. I assume they're all... Like, these are all, like, legal tomes, I'm guessing, that he's consulting for his lawsuit, I would guess.
And that should give you a very clear understanding of why I'm doing the Kickstarter campaign, as well as why I live in a very palpable fear. I finished writing the pages around this time. I finished writing the pages above this time. I finished writing the pages above around 10 o'clock last night and proceeded to sleep 12 hours. I needed it. But every time I close my eyes, Quentin poisons my psyche with visions of evil.
Whoa.
Him and his alike. So we've made some very grim allegations. In fact, I have accused Quentin and the actors closest to him of the ugliest, arrogant, felonious actions, as well as broad, positive misprision.
Yeah, he's definitely an Art of the Deal guy. He's similar to me, where his favorite book is Art of the Deal.
Though that only relates to after the fact. I can accept that Quentin conceived of the idea because his mind...
What are we thinking about his teeth physiognomy? I'm definitely sensing something is off with his teeth, specifically. Is anyone an expert in the field who can shed some light on that? Can we get an up-to-speed on this guy? Does he claim to be the writer of all Tarantino movies or just the movie critic's script? Okay, I'm not 100% sure. We watched one of his videos last week, and it's definitely the case that Quentin Tarantino has wronged him severely in some way. I think he stole the movie critic's script, but as we're learning now, it goes way deeper than that, and Quentin Tarantino is astrally projecting, like, graping him, I believe, in his sleep, as he was saying. But I don't know. We're gonna find out.
It is not well.
Yeah, we have to make it through over 500 videos to get the full scope of the story.
But for everyone else around him to insulate, inculcate, and indeed compound upon his celestial high treason gives me cause to pursue damages financially.
This is why I think that this ties into the Starseed Netlink investigation. Because I'm pretty sure that the same tactics that Quentin is using on Brian, or Cavi is also utilizing on Starseed. And given that they're clearly using the same tactics, I would say it's probably fair to surmise that they are in cahoots, as some may say, possibly in a cabal type situation. That's my feeling right now, and I'm 100% confident. I've seen the evidence, guys.
And gives the authorities cause to pursue writs of indictment against all involved. So here's the cast of characters. Quentin Tarantino, Daniela Pick, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mikey Madison, Sydney Sweeney, Maya Hawke, Margaret Qualley, Uma Thurman, John Travolta, Margot Robbie, Sam Jackson, Channing Tatum, Daryl Hannah, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Steve Buscemi, Austin Butler, Sophia, real name unknown. I could keep going.
Okay.
You get it.
A list of horrible criminals, I think. Did anyone catch who those people are? He kind of just they're all guilty of celestial high treason, obviously. Very sinister stuff.
Let's not forget Vittorius Reddy. So what I'm saying is that all of these people are fully aware of my allegations, and in fact assisted because they consider Quentin their teacher in this thing, and are so goddamn dumb they believe his tactics
Traitors,
to be authorized
indeed.
by his ability to do them. However, this is the real world. No dream factories here. And Hollywood is not outside of the law. And it's time for us to either reconcile because nothing of the kind happened.
Right, yeah, they're fish people. I forgot about that. These are all fish people. Right. Is this guy a dangerous injustice collector or just a regular injustice? He's a dangerous one, definitely.
Or it's time for you all to go down. The mystery traditions are as old as time immemorial. And on a legitimate scale, weighing the thoughts of the accused against the weight of the feather, the mysteries can unlock a wonderful knowing and calm in the mind of the adept. This is the reason, to whom it may concern, that I turned my back on Quentin. I felt so bad over hurting him. I never could have assumed he would flex his fucking clairvoyance all over town, telling everyone I was his new...
Because I think they used to be like best friends, and then Quentin, the traitor, the usurper, betrayed him, I think. So whose side are we in on all this? I think Brian, for sure, is my feeling at this point. Maybe there's going to be some incredible plot twist later, but I'm right now I'm firmly on Team Brian.
disciple when he
He is like a South Park guy. True.
I don't make deals with my soul in abstract dimensions of the mind. And when he stuck his nose up at my letter and turned his back on my writing again, the third time since he canceled the film, I saw it for what it was. I said to myself, oh, he's trying to control me. That's... Okay, I see. I see what you're doing. You don't want to talk to me like a man? I'm not a show dog who barks for treats. And so I treated him like he treated me. Every single person I mentioned above, if they do not perjure themselves, have no choice but to admit he never wrote or spoke to me practically like a man. He just violated my mind every night for months.
Sorry, what little spasm? Did he just do a spasm?
And when he stuck his nose up at my letter and turned his back on my writing again, the third time since he canceled the film.
Right, because I know he's written a bunch of letters. Yo, what's up, Pats fan? No, I totally understand. You can't stick around. New Rick and Morty out in 20 minutes. I get it, bro. I get it.
I saw it for what it was. I said to myself, oh.
But right, he's written a bunch of letters to Quentin. I think that's important. He, in a sort of Eminem Stan style, he's written a bunch of letters to Quentin.
Oh. He's trying to control me. That's... Okay, I see. I see what you're doing. You don't want to talk to me like a man? I'm not a show dog who barks for treats. And so I treated him like he treated me. What's
the story with Quentin Tarantino living in Israel? Is his wife is like from there, so that's why he lives there? It's like an odd choice in my opinion, but
every single person I mentioned above, if they do not perjure themselves, have no choice but to admit he never wrote or spoke to me practically like a man. He just violated my mind every night for months.
Violated my mind.
On one level. However, we played the psychic mind game. All those months feeling I never had my mind. I wanted him to look me in the eye and say, have you been paying attention? He didn't want to admit it. He still doesn't. But I have no spiritual master save God.
Yeah, the way he talks, it's without the like, oh, but he kind of reminds me of like Sam Kinison almost, like a slightly more restrained Sam Kinison.
I could say way more on that, but I know it's all been said somewhere behind us in the novel. But I will say this. Anything that Quentin shows anyone regarding him speaking to me about Tribeca will not hold up to forensic scrutiny because it is a lie. I suspect Sophia photoshopped some crude document together that no one could verify objectively. That's because it is another lie. And that lie opens up another avenue of my legal pursuits. So I allege, after Tribeca, Quentin sat down with his degenerate disciples and decried before them as well as God, this fucking guy deserves to die.
Whoa.
And as it is mentioned in the appendix, quite literally, anyone in town that asked him about me can corroborate my claims. So I'm alleging on April 18th, 2025, a year
now we're
to the
getting
day
into
of the
it.
canceling of the film, really, almost. It was the 17th, I believe. Quentin and everyone I mentioned, even if they were not there, can confirm, and true, they might all lie. And so now I'm suing forever, everyone forever. But on that night, they all collectively exercised their psychic identity upon my soul and cast a real spell to give me AIDS. Going so far as to...
Right. I forgot that they psychically gave him AIDS, and that's why he needs to sue them forever. Yeah, I'm sorry. We are 1,000,000,000% on Team Brian here. That's just a really like fricked up thing to do to someone, to give them AIDS psychically. You don't do that.
Solicit HIV-infected blood for their perversions. I suspect it was a whole bag, and they've been slowly chipping away at it ever since, as much as they want. But that night they all collapsed, a disgusting psychic pressure upon me, and have bound our souls together forever. This is the highest evil anyone could practice, and they all laughed their asses off. True Hollywood seance. Sick. Evil. So why did they do it to me then?
But yeah, true, Myron. I would also be like, he is completely justified in his anger. Like, that's a really crazy and messed up thing to do to somebody. Like, I would also be really pissed. And I would be angling to sue everyone forever as well. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Am I so sure that it occurred? How can you be so certain of the day and time? Because it occurred at the exact same time I was trying to remote view Trey, who was on stage performing with Fish. I'll admit
sorry. He keeps popping out all of these incredible plot twists that I'd forgotten from last week, because Fish, the band Fish, is intimately involved in all of this, right? The Mockingbird Foundation. He was trying to remote view... he was remote viewing Trey from Fish when it happened. That's why he remembers so well. Right, of course, yeah.
Trey a taste. And I could make a case for someone causing a live musician to seize epileptic by rebounding the sound waves and doubling them back, causing a feedback loop in the brain of the target. But I did. I wanted to give him a taste out of my frustration.
Because wasn't it last week he was willing to like settle for Fish tickets or something like that? Wasn't there something like if they just gave him tickets to the Fish show at the Las Vegas Sphere, he'd call it all off? Something like that.
And all those awful things that are regaled above proceeded to occur as soon as I put eyes on Trey's picture. Of course, Trey and Fish are prominent characters in this saga. I wrote them first around Halloween, 2 letters. And Quentin, of course, escalated his campaign, leading me to believe that Eliza Anastasio wanted to play Ophelia and have my baby. And they made constant jokes about her being
Have
ugly,
my
I have
baby.
no doubt.
Right, he wanted the tickets to resell. But yeah, he is admitting to using evil magic, and that's one of those things where it's. I feel like doing remote viewing and stuff, like you are just kind of asking for it, right? So, you know, he kind of opened himself up so sinister actors such as Quentin Tarantino and Trey Anastasio or whatever had access to him, right? It's a two-way street. Right, he needed the tickets to sell so he could afford to sue them. You know what? Actually, real quick, guys, let's just boot up our gematria calculator here. I can't remember if we did Quentin Tarantino last week, but I don't think we did Brian Jennings. This is going to be important, I suspect. Okay, so Brian Jennings in Hebrew gematria, One true gematria. 963. That seems like a powerful number, all divisible by 3. The event. Oh, we did look up this one, but it's worth checking again. The event. Plan It's to get rid of Satan. Lucifer the Morning Star. Supercomputer. Easter Bunny. Okay. It's making sense yet? It's making sense yet, guys? Remote viewing is the same as bug chasing, basically. True. Very true. But yeah, if Quentin Tarantino mind read, I'd be mad too. He wanted to manipulate the sound waves to give Trey a seizure. Yeah. Did Trey from Fish get a seizure on stage? That's actually a good question. I was just sort of uncritically believing Brian there, but let's just do a quick fact check, a quick Patriot fact check. No, Trey Anastasio has never suffered a seizure on stage. Okay. Well, I don't believe that. So, yeah, the answer is yes. 9 plus 6 plus 3 equals 6, 7. Whoa.
Whoa!
And it is actually the day 6/7 today, which is sort of interesting. For Americans, at least, because you guys kind of bizarrely put your month first. In Canada, our 6/7 actually takes place next month. Yeah, because we do it normal style, day, month, year. But okay, so this kind of the proof we're getting here is that Trey Anastasio is lying. So now we know for a fact that he is a liar because he did get a seizure that day. And he's lying about it. So we can't trust him anymore, basically.
And it upsets me, to be sure. But in the first letter, I offered an alternative to Tribeca. That's why I wrote.
Very true. Important point from Wallums here. Be sure to fortify your mind before bed tonight. Investigating Tarantino like this is likely painting a target on all of us. Well, that's why, for many months now, we've been doing the Noid stream psychic training, which obviously is what these streams are. So we all have the mental fortitude to do these kind of high-stakes investigations while having the psychic resistance to avoid sort of attacks from powerful sorcerers such as, just for instance, Cavi, Quentin Tarantino, Trey Anastasio, and the likes.
To make it right, where I come out with Fish and we reveal the trailer for the movie critic while I'm playing Saw It again. And of course, if his arrogance knows no bounds, and he informed the press of his clairvoyant game of control, then it does reason that they might ask why this and not Tribeca. And of course he will never tell the truth, especially the truth that he cannot control my mind. He and everyone involved possess pieces of my soul, but my mind is a divinity that stretches from horizon to horizon, and therefore cannot be tamed into submission. I cannot say with any real objective authority, but
That's the same for all of us, right? Our mind is I don't know if I go that far, but we have circles of protection around our mind, basically, and they stretch from horizon to horizon in the circle of protection, rather. I wouldn't phrase it the same way as him. I'm going on an airplane in a few hours. Pray for me, boys. The Noid waves are strong up there. Yeah, circle of protection on Hexagon, on happy travels on your airplane.
Inclined to believe that Trey did reach out.
Fun fact, he's flying to Israel. Kind of a fun coincidence
in
there.
The idea because it's badass, which compelled Quentin to manipulate me to write them again. Fast forward a few weeks to the announcement of the 8-show run from Seattle to the Hollywood Bowl. All of those things are mentioned above in the appendix, and what I'll say is that when I wrote them about reading the passage about the canceling of the film, I suggested we do it during What's Going Through Your Mind. And so that first night, they were all torturing
Is that a
me
Fish
with the
song?
highest evil anyone could practice. I forced myself to sleep, knowing there was nothing I could do. And when I saw that they played What's Going Through Your Mind, I heard Quentin. No writers on stage with Fish. And when I saw the encore of Bug, Possum, it was pretty clear. Quentin had been discussing the set with them.
That's extremely clear, yes. So I guess if Fish is confirmed evil here, right? If they're colluding with Quentin Tarantino, that makes it pretty clear, yeah.
They also played What's Going Through Your Mind the first night of the Hollywood Bowl, as well as A Life Beyond a Dream.
The Hollywood Bowl.
The question worth asking about these shows is why? Why did they do them? I contend that Quentin, as mentioned above, did in fact set up those shows by manipulating them, and did in fact intend to premiere my scene with Brad as a final humiliation to me. And when I wrote them explaining more fully what had been occurring, they opted out, telling him something to the effect of, "We don't care that you'll pay him. If you want to do what you're asking, the two of you can reach out to us together." Makes sense to me. And now they as a band have a real legal culpability as well. So we're making inferences. After Quentin proved impotent...
It is cool how if you're like a public figure of any scale at all, you develop guys like this. I mean, we do a tiny show, and this is basically already happened to us once.
Again, to humiliate me at an event, he decided on this disgusting course of action and opened himself and everyone who participated in or who has insulated his continuing campaign to absolute
right, true,
divine
true. I got 34 guys like this in chat right now.
Retribution. Now we're swimming in the waters of criminality. And anyone who knew about that event at Tribeca, anyone, as an individual or an institution, are now on the hook legally.
Damn, yeah, a lot of people coming through tonight. I feel like Quentin might be selling us sending agents in the chat here to track us all. So everybody be real careful. Hugh, why are you distracting us from the files? Well, that's my job, man. They don't give you $7,000 for nothing, bro.
Therefore,
you just made a billion, Brian. It's real.
That's the characters. Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, the Tribeca Film Festival, Robert.
What happened to that guy is 100% what is happening. It's the exact same thing that happened to Brian and why he hasn't posted in a month. 1-to-1, exact same scenario.
Nero, Fish, William Morris Endeavor, Sony Pictures, CAA, UTA, Netflix, AMC Theaters. I don't care to rattle off every agency, but what I'm saying is that not only are all those actors culpable, their representation is also culpable. If someone could sue McDonald's because they burned the roof of their mouth, I can damn sure sue CAA for representing a criminal doing criminal behavior against me. So the question we're asking now is, no more bullshit. Why did Fish play those shows on those days? What does Trey Anastasio have to say about it? If the truth is that he lies for Quentin, it in no way invalidates the validity of my arguments. It just proves I misjudged him for a long time. And if it is in fact true that they set up those shows for Quentin to humiliate me, then we have objective corroboration of my claims. This is my real concern. To bring this...
Listen, is this a hot take that I think Fish kind of sucks? Yo, what's up, Tyler? I see you went to Fish concerts and got mangled. I'm sure that was awesome. I feel like I've always gotten bad vibes from Fish personally.
Train of thought to its logical conclusion. If that
Yo, what's up, Goblin?
Shoot, and this is definitely true, is a...
Well, and I'm maybe in the rare Venn diagram where I like the Grateful Dead, but I don't like Fish, even though I know that the Grateful Dead is like an evil CIA band or whatever, but I still think they got some good tracks. But Fish is just like endless meandering noodling, you know?
6 sorcerers attack upon me. And if these things occurred, and if all those actors are in fact in the film, and they are
the
that
Gateful Head, true.
And they are. That movie is a testament to his arrogance. Then, anytime anyone who watches that film and appreciates any of the performances of the actors who have conspired with Quentin to practice high evil, that will compound upon me and further destroy my soul. This is not a child's game. And a case could be made as far as I am also sure these things have stolen anything good in any...
I ended up snorting poopy coke with a guy from Israel. What a coincidence. Wow. Touch of Grey, literally the soundtrack to Hugh's life. They got some good tracks, man. Like you see their live stuff and they do the endless Fish noodling, but all their songs in their albums are like 3 minutes and they're kind of good. I don't know.
Any of those people. And the reality that they do not understand is that no one really knows what occurs in these liminal psychic landscapes.
I had a client who sounded like this and had a closet filled with pee water bottles.
And their skeletons could wither away
Awesome.
to ash in their body. or they could absorb all of it back into themselves. And this is the reality that is settling on all of them. That they never had a monopoly on magic, remote viewing, and astral projection. And everything that they did to me, I can with equal deftness put back on.
Sorry for all the pausing, but I went to a Grateful Dead cover band festival and a guy loaded my weed pipe full of dirt. Well, yeah, it's really, we're going to have to kind of like convene after each video, I think, to suss it out, because obviously this guy is operating on such a high thetan level that it's a lot for one person to comprehend. But that's why we have the sort of hive mind here.
Anyway. So, if what I am saying is true, they all deserve to go down, and that film deserves to be destroyed. 100%. If the truth is Quentin is not the most evil man in the world, and he does not want me to die because he knows he cannot reasonably expect to control anyone's mind who comes into his life, I did not write him to find a psychic occult master. I wrote him about his writing. That's it. So if there is no validity in my claims,
I really like when he gets angry for emphasis.
Margot Robbie, Maya Hawke, Margaret Qualley, Mikey Madison, Sydney Sweeney, whoever.
Well, Grammy, he lives with his mom, so his mom is the one keeping him alive, yeah.
Sophia is, as well as his wife, Daniela Pick. Every single one of them. You see, I'm an arrogant ass like Quentin. And I contend that no woman who wants children has a real argument to deny me, as I have mastered almost every artistic medium.
Okay. All right, plot twist. For all the single guys in chat, you are going to be wanting to write this down. An incredible pickup line right there. Use it. Next girl you see on the street, use this.
Psychic occult master. I wrote him about his writing. That's it.
That's it.
So if there is no validity in my claims, then he should have no problem letting me put babies in Margot Robbie, Maya Hawke, Margaret Qualley, Mikey Madison, Sydney Sweeney, whoever Sophia is, as well as his wife, Daniela Pick. Every single one of them. You see, I'm an arrogant ass like Quentin. And I contend that no woman who wants children has a real argument to deny me, as I have mastered almost every artistic medium. I'm supposed to...
Sorry, going all like Stephen Molly. Like, that is not an argument why I shouldn't put a baby in you. You have no argument. Not an argument. Yeah, he definitely should put babies in all of those girls, yeah. They literally have no argument as to why he shouldn't. I mean, try and come up with one. You can't. You can't do it. Women who don't want me are eugenicists. They're dysgenicists, actually.
You don't want a handsome man who is a virtuoso guitarist, excellent singer, can paint your portrait, make you clothes and shoes, make prints, dry point lithograph, is an excellent writer as well as an actor, and is an excellent chef? Oh, so you're waiting for someone else.
Not an argument.
Nah, I don't buy that. If you do not want a baby from me, I allege it is because you and Quentin Tarantino and everyone I mentioned did something fucked up to try to give me AIDS last April. My logic being thus. If it occurred, and it did, the psychic counterbalance is my putting that evil back inside of all of them, which will allow us all to collectively bear the business into the world at large, feeding that demon they created. That film ends with my scene or thereabouts, and if they all sit with their noses in the air feeling good about themselves, the body count's gonna rise. And as it's mentioned before, I'm done. So, if you look through the campaign, you'll see everything that you get. Everything that's mentioned in that paragraph is a category.
His logic is thus. Really strong Kickstarter campaign video.
The more that you get, of course, the lowest one is just the novel. Then you get into the dry points, et cetera, portrait painting, all these things. So, 16 minutes. I suppose that's like way too long, but I wanted to read those pages. But thank you for your consideration. God bless.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Brian. All right, so it does have $200 of his $55,000 goal. So everybody's going to want to write down this URL real quick so we can bump that up. So yeah, we're gonna check out funding unsuccessful. Okay, I'm gonna guess that Quentin's dark magic is probably certainly involved. So, okay, we need to put our heads together to sort of gather the story so far. It seems like he wrote a scene in The Movie Critic, which was canceled, and a bunch of hot Hollywood actresses, because Quentin Tarantino tricked them, didn't let him impregnate them, and they gave him AIDS. They psychically gave him AIDS, despite the fact that he's like a virtuoso in every single artistic pursuit. And Fish is involved. Trey Anastasio is a liar. Oh, good. Jason Schultz just dropped in $48,000. Perfect. He's this much closer to publishing his ebook. Well, Grammy, we do have over 500 more videos where I'm sure he will explain the AIDS thing to everyone's satisfaction. Let's just blast through this quickly before we dig into more of his videos. I finished writing the pages above this around 10 o'clock last night and proceeded to sleep 12 hours. I needed it. Wait, was this just what he was reading off? I think this... Okay, I think maybe this is different. We'll just blast. We'll check this out real quickly. We'll skim it, guys. I finished writing the pages above this around 10 o'clock last night and proceeded to sleep 12 hours. I needed it. But every time I close my eyes, Quentin poisons my psyche with visions of evil, him and his alike. Look up Play'em Keyboard Cat Trey Anastasio Coventry. Okay. On YouTube? I'm trying to avoid getting copyright struck this one. That's why I used custom MIDI tracks for the intro. But I mean, whatever. If it happens, it happens. Which one is it? This one?
I think that symbolically we wanted this to be the last song because it really feels like it came full circle. We're back where it was written, and so here it is. Thank you so much.
So for context, this is the night that Brian was astral projecting into his mind and like accidentally blasted a bunch of Quentin Tarantino style evil magic at him.
Thank you so much.
Zazed. All right, let's get back to this. This is what he read. Okay, yeah, I think he just might have read this off. Of course, Trey and Fish are prominent characters. Yeah, this is just what he read. The people he's going to sue. Risks and challenges. Okay. The risk is that I am right, and Quentin is a vulgar, evil man, and he will send someone to murder me at any moment. I live in this constant haze of fear by his designs. I could say something about him being miserable as well, which must be true, but I guess he really is just a sad, fucked up, weird guy who doesn't appreciate all those goddesses that surround him and call him master. He would rather devote all of his vital energy on seeing me suffer than those closest to him be happy. Very dark stuff. He wants me to say, oh gosh, it's so much suicide is the only answer, and I know that's never true, that surely he cannot be contented to inch closer to the grave with his every breath to prove a point. That's petty and sad. But these are the risks, that they all collapse a psychic pressure upon me constantly until I have a heart attack or a stroke, or they each agree it has to be done and send someone or come themselves to murder me. I could say something about that being a legitimate fear, as my claims have life imprisonment attached, but I cannot live this way forever, so I'm raging more than any of them ever could until we are reconciled, they're all locked up, and that film is destroyed, or I'm dead. I have to be strong, despite the fear. Wow. Powerful stuff. Powerful, powerful stuff. Wow. Yeah, he's gonna have a heart attack or stroke from the psychic attacks and not pizza. Yeah, true. Hugh, have you seen Liam, and what is your opinion on the Worm Man himself? I have seen him. I've certainly seen him in the Discord. Don't know how he got in. He sort of hacked himself in. He hasn't pushed it yet, but I have made a custom role on the Discord that is untouchable, color tone slightly off black, that will be sealed in general chat if things get out of hand. So let that be a warning to everybody. If things get too out of hand, you will become an untouchable and be banished to pick up poop with your hands in the streets for all eternity. Haven't had to break that out yet, but it is an option that I've provided myself. Okay, so that's his Kickstarter. Very cool. Let's look up fish in gematria here real quick. I think this is important. What does someone have to do to get generaled? I don't know yet. I'll know when I see it that the person will be sealed in the street shitting room, which is general, to pick up poop with their hands. But nobody's pushed it to that level yet. I just wanted to have the option, so I have it all set up just in case. Yeah, like to be sealed in the Dark Horde, but I could maybe make that happen. Sure. Okay, so fish in Hebrew gematria, the one true gematria is 175. Nero, Pope, some, Germanic, dollar, the almighty dollar, Raphael, Poland, indicated, bananas. Whoa! That reminds me of woke. That's what woke is. It's bananas, folks. Reno, Gugap, Flint, Lido, Moez, Rhonda, Pascal. A lot of short words on this one. King of Hell. I don't think we need to read any more of these. I think that speaks for itself. Very evil words. Whoa. True. Okay, so this is the one we watched last week. Let's just see what's his most popular video. His most popular one is the AI creation myth. Sort of branching out, because it would appear every other one is very specifically about Clint Booth and Quentin Tarantino. King of Heck. Hugh, you have to say heck. I'm too scared of the HE double hockey sticks. We must be bold in this space. Okay, one's an hour and 30 minutes long. He's wearing a very snazzy sweater. We're going to check it out real quick. Check out his banner. Oh, yeah, he does have sort of pencil drawn. I'm pretty sure that's Hebrew. But I mean, listen, when you're in a battle of like spiritual, psychic energies with a sorcerer on the level of Quentin Tarantino, you kind of need to use anything you can get your hands on, Like guys like us might say like, oh, I don't want to use Jewish magic. But, when the stakes get high enough and the forces aligned against you are strong enough and a bunch of women don't even have a good argument to not let you impregnate them, you kind of have to use whatever you can get your hands on, So let's just check this one out quickly. It is an hour and a half long. Oh, look at this one. This makes me sick. Lady Arya, Starflower of Sophia. He's literally renamed. Okay, no, we can't focus on that now. We have to focus on the mystery at hand, guys.
I hope everyone will have a good weekend.
Yeah, exactly. You need to fight fire with fire. Exactly.
Michael Sorcerer. This channel exists to discuss the nature of my relationship with Quentin Tarantino and the movie critic.
Let's just check out the description here. This is the largely complete story of the movie critic, though it is still unfolding. The reason he canceled it, the actual reason, his machinations, his hideous designs, which have resulted in a case study in remote viewing between us, which will endure the rest of our lives. You can write any of the email addresses below and inquire as to the validity of my claims, which will help me, though I know they will likely say nothing to you despite knowing the truth. They all insulate his lies. Yes, the things I am claiming are pure evil, and everyone involved, including me, now have a palpable layer of bile and spiritual filth over them. And then it's a bunch of, talent agencies, Paul Schrader, CBS, Fish, all the big bads, He is very wet, very greasy. I think he just had a shower. I think he's looking clean and slick, smooth with it.
And so, I watched Frankenstein today. First time I watch a movie in a while. It's hard for me to watch movies now. Of course, apt metaphors abound, right? I am his creature. He is my father. He's my victor.
Wow, that's crazy how every piece of media he reads is secretly about him. That's nuts.
But it was well done. I enjoyed it a lot. Guillermo. I'll
Guillermo?
probably send him a letter. I decided to go through the whole thing again because I'm going to promote this video. I'm exhausted.
I'll probably send him a letter too.
Sick of
Something to look forward to. If Guillermo del Taco, if you're in chat, that's something to look forward to.
talking about it, right? But until, right, there's some sort of like actual display of contrition, I have no choice but to assume that he wants me to die. That's like, there's no other way to interpret it. And so, I'm going to take my time. I know my last video I was running hot. I drank some alcohol. Everything that I said was true, but...
Yes, 100% he is into the same stuff that German guy that Jordan found is. And that was him forcing his wet, silky hair to submit to him and his will. What's up, Fred Uckers? I had a friend who thought BoJack Horseman was about his life. Let's go.
Right, this is his ammunition against me, is that I'm not well in my mind. And he has put me in a state, right, but I am of sound mind. And so
God,
setting out, there's a number of things that we have to accept in our mind's eye. The first and most...
Sorry, what do you mean his last video? Like his most recent one or his like first one?
Most important is that there is such a thing as psychic phenomenon, remote viewing, and telepathy. And we all know that there is. Mm-hmm. That these things are...
We've proven it many times in this space. A genuine question. What does this guy do if the movie critic does come out? Do we get another Aurora shooter? Likely. He said in the last one he posted before this, he was drunk. Okay. Well, this one, I sorted it by popularity. This is his second most popular video of all time.
And this is because life is a psychic intellectual creature. Right? That consciousness is the progenitor of all life. That it's through a psychic intellectual pressure upon inert space that we see matter manifested out of it. And so it's through a similar tactic, though stepped down some 1,000 times magnitude, 10,000 times magnitude even, that we see the clairvoyant operating their psychic prowess accordingly. The second tenet that we have to accept in our mind's eye, these are all understandings of intuition and faith, is that all
it's crazy that this guy has 12K subscribers. And most of his videos are doing like sub 200.
Things that occur
doesn't really seem fair.
In an artist's writing, in an artist's creation, in an artist's acts of intention and will, stem from some psychological truth within them. It's masked in a myriad of ways, but it all stems from some primal truth within man. Hence the necessity for language, art, and writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, the one miracle that you have to accept, right? Which is not a miracle if you accept the other thing. is that Quentin Tarantino is a powerful psychic clairvoyant who
Okay.
directs with his mind.
Yeah. I accept.
And he has created a case study in remote viewing with the two of us as a result of me not giving him what he wanted last year at a screening of Jackie Brown. So I'm going to begin at the beginning, take my time. It's going to take a long time to tell the whole story. And
But does he look like Werner von Braun? I don't actually know what that guy looks like.
hopefully I don't leave anything out, but likely I'll leave something out. And that's unfortunate. You can go back and see the other videos and hear other ruminations, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera,
And so
et
I will
cetera.
seem, he has put me in a state that's a product of his design, and the dust is settling in my mind, but I have no reason not to assume that he is outright evil and will hit his breaking point any day and send someone to actually murder me. Okay. I decided that I was an actor in the summer of 2022. And around the time that I got into drama school in New York, I was living in Los Angeles, and I did everything backwards. I'm also a writer. My name is Brian Jennings. Right? I wear a lot of hats. Right? I'm also a guitar player and a singer.
A master of all of them, by the way.
I'm also interested in visual art. Right? Who's that? Mike Simpson?
Okay, there's his visual art there, which does appear to be Kabbalah runes.
Quentin's agent. But primarily I'm a writer. I also got into Shakespeare. I want to play Hamlet. And so I got into a drama school. And so I went to LA to be a writer and then New York to be an actor. When usually it's like crisscross. It's the other way around. Most people go to...
He should consider moving to Israel if he wants to get in with Quentin. That's my advice to him. But
LA to be an actor and New York to be a writer. But I was writing every day, writing. And I'm writing something now. And it's a barrel of laughs, let me tell you. And so around the time that I got into drama school, I thought about the movie critic. Quentin had been at Cannes earlier that year, saying, I want to just start saying his monologues right now, but just gotta wait. I said, I should write Quentin. Like, I'd be a good actor for this movie. But I didn't have anything. I was just an asshole with a pen. So I waited. Went to New York, was doing drama school. I got cast in my first Shakespeare in January, as soon as I got there. And so by June, I had just finished my second Shakespeare, and I said, okay, I'm gonna write him. Why shouldn't I write him? Right? Yeah, he's never gonna reply, but I make my pitch, and I made the pitch. So I wrote him a letter, 2 pages, front and back, composition pages. And then as soon as I put it in the mail, I said, no, I have to be more specific. I have to, right? It makes sense to me. I have to make it make sense to him. And these are, right? He despises me.
this is all in a year. Okay. Because, yeah, it is true. He hasn't done anything in a month, so it's quite possible he is now dead or possibly totally mind-graped by Quentin. That's entirely possible. Likely, in fact. So keep that in mind, guys.
Me now, but at the time, this was his most cherished letter that he ever got, I'm sure of it. Just like, right, I despise him now. But, so, sent the one letter, and then I said, no, I need to be specific. I need to say exactly what my point is, right? And so I wrote another one, and then I wrote another one. And after the third one, I said, okay, that's it. No more. It's weird if I write them all the time. And so I sent it to the New Beverly. And it all got returned to
Yeah,
sender.
this is him in the process of being mind-graped. I'm assuming now he's probably like a vegetable or something. I hate to say, but that's probably, I think, is the most likely scenario.
Perhaps the wrong address is online. And so I found another movie theater that he owns in Los Feliz, 3. 1822 North Vermont Avenue. And so I wrote a fourth letter, right? Stapled them all together. It was like 15 pieces of paper by that point, 20 pieces of paper. Front and back, no blank lines. My headshot, my resume.
Did he say that? I didn't catch that. He said in the last video he made, something is going to happen to me tomorrow. And lo and behold, it literally did. Yeah, Quentin might have his feet stuffed hanging on the wall in Israel. Very possible.
Which was comical. There's nothing on it, but a good-looking headshot, good enough looking headshot, and my meager resume. And forgot all about it. I did my best to forget all about it. I stayed up visualizing that whole night. I said, I can. So the trade's published shortly thereafter that he would be shooting the film at the end of September, and this was around July the 4th. And so I said, okay, that's it.
July the 4th, America Day. Coincidence?
I'm out. Of course, he's already cast the film. Like, it's done. And so my hair was a little bit shorter than it is now, but it was quite long with my headshot, and so I cut my hair in September because the other movie that I had it long for ran out of funding. And so every time I looked at it, it just reminded me that I wasn't working. And so I cut it and was living my life. I acted in The Tragedy of Cymbeline. I did my third Shakespeare in September. And the SAG strike endured until the end of November, around Thanksgiving. And so somewhere around like December the 10th or the 12th, I was acting in The Two Gentlemen of Verona, and the trades published that Quentin had halted his production until early 2024. I didn't think anything about it. So, okay, whatever. And so, right, while I'm
most sane stage actor, theater guy. Yeah, he's just walking around his house like a golem, very real. Do you think he just loads a gun slowly and watches from dusk till dawn while he mumbles? Yes. Quentin Tarantino has this guy in one of those Matrix vats in Israel. True.
sitting backstage, right, at the Two Gentlemen of Verona, all the letters came flooding back to me. And that was the first day that he was remote viewing me. I suspect he watched me the whole day, and then when he saw me at the theater, he said, "Oh wow, he really is an actor." And so all the letters came flooding back to me. There's a lot.
Man, I wish I met guys like this in film school. No, I did not. By and large, a significantly lower class of guy. Yeah, I wish. A
lot of information, in those pages that I hadn't thought about in a long time. I said, "Oh, if this guy writes me again, you let me know," and all these things. And I got really excited. I said, "Oh, cool, this guy gets it. It's a strong pitch. It's badass. Hell yeah!" And so I wrote him a letter immediately, and I said, "Oh, don't worry about my hair, and I stand by everything that I said." And
no, none taken. You're totally right. It's not. They're not sending their best to film school. Let's just say that.
We can do it, and it's gonna be great. I sent him a tape with me playing Django Reinhardt on guitar, note for note.
Okay, I think you talked about this in the
swing.
previous video.
And I did Hamlet, the introduction to the players. Welcome, masters, you are welcome. I am glad to see you well. Thy face is balanced since I saw thee last, etc., etc., etc. And so when they received it in the mail, I heard him say, "Oh no, he's upset about my hair." And so around the same time, right, of course, they gave me a bullshit role.
Oh, uh-oh.
Sorry about that. They gave me a bullshit role while I was acting in The Two Gentlemen of Verona, and so I was writing the whole time backstage, And so I would put my book down like this so that I could sit down.
Wait, the guy was literally a survivor of the Heaven's Gate cult? Damn. Art school guy, survivor of Heaven's. Damn, yeah, no, I did not have anyone in this ballpark at film school. Quentin he got Quentin beamed, y'all.
Like that, and open it immediately and continue to write. And so at the end of the show, it was oriented like this. And it took me the whole following day to really kind of like let it marinate in my mind. And I suspect that he was manipulating me in some way. But when I realized that the book was oriented...
Damn, that's crazy.
...differently, I felt that they left me no choice. It became obvious that they had opened my notebook, and there was like a feeling in the air, when the show ended, that they had...
Did his parents ascend with the Heaven's Gate cult, and he just got left behind? Or they didn't go on the away team either?
That they had violated me in some way. And so, I went in there, slammed my fucking bag down, said, "Listen up!" Put the fear of God and everyone in there, screamed at the top of my lungs till they threw me out. And I don't regret that at all. It's common courtesy. I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to talk to people like they're 4 years old. And this is Quentin's argument for me, and we'll get to that soon enough. But after I got thrown out, I said, "Well, how do I turn it into a virtue? How do I?" So, the movie critic's about a writer. I should send it to Quentin. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's wild. Heaven's Gate, I will say, I don't agree with everything they did, but very aesthetic cult. cool sense of aesthetics on those guys. Don't agree. I don't condone everything they did, but I do like their weird little patches and like videos and stuff. And it's very cool.
So that's what I did. BK actor self-tape. That guy remembers me. He remembers that scene. His name's Elliot. He's a great guy. At the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And so, right, sent it. And I continued to write. I had like no money, but I wrote as much as I could, like a couple of more letters between the middle of December through the end of January. Right? Because after like the 7th one, I said, I'm going to write this guy until he says something. I'm just going to keep writing him until he tells me no. Right? And so I sent the 10th one and gave him $1 billion system of projection, which is the future, where all of the frames are converted into NFTs.
What is this from? November 7th, 2025. The NFTs were big then. $1 billion. Sorry, his idea is that all the frames are NFTs in the movie. That's literally $1 billion projection idea. Wow. Okay.
As well as the sound files.
And the sound files.
And I said,
wow.
I'll give you that. That's right. Is that enough? Right. My hair will grow back fast. It's hair. And so that was all the way through the 10th. It was the 10th letter.
Static Age show. You're kind of learned on this. Is there a way to read those letters? Are those letters publicly available? I would really love to see what was in them.
Total. I spent 4 in the beginning. That first run, 6 months went by, and then I sent another 6 over like 6 weeks. It was basically like a letter a week. And then the trades announced that Brad Pitt was reuniting with Quentin for the Movie Critic. And he stopped accepting my mail. The last 2 letters I had in the mail came back to me.
So is that going to Quentin or Brad?
That was a lot. That was a lot, for sure. To have given so much of my soul onto the page, all to just get him to say something. Right, and so I processed that for like maybe a week. I didn't write him again. I got it. That's right. And so right after it like processed in my mind, I said, okay, I get it. I misjudged this guy. He's not what I thought he was. So I get it. You're a famous guy. You think that?
No, you're good. You're good, Chimpkin. You're good.
You think that I can write you 50 pages and you don't have to say anything to me? Like that's okay. Oh gosh, how quaint. This plebeian, this pedestrian, bore his soul to me. The burdens of fame. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna write about it. Right? I started seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in a new adulterated light. Right? And so I wrote a 7,000 word essay.
Okay.
Reminding the world that Quentin appropriated Brad Pitt's spousal abuse. This is what writers do. Cliff Booth murdered his wife on a boat and got away with it because Brad Pitt beat up his wife on an airplane and got away with it.
Is that true? Can any homo thugs in chat sugar plum check that? Is that true? Did Brad Pitt do that? I know apparently I'm seeing stories that he's being very mean to Angelina Jolie's sort of United Nation of adopted kids. I've been hearing that recently.
He pulled the story out of the air and put it in the water, right? And it's a regurgitation. It's the same thing, right? That Brad Pitt fed the FBI a song and dance about how he didn't mean to, right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they never pressed charges, but Angelina Jolie filed for divorce immediately. And so Cliff Booth says...
Yeah, could you imagine not being a good father figure to your ex-wives' 1,000 African adoptee children? What a piece of shit.
The same thing, right? When he comes back on the boat with his mutilated wife with a spear gun. Oh, I didn't mean to do it, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same story. It's the exact same story. And so after I published that, I said, what else can I do? And I said, the Movie Critic's about a guy who reviews movies. I should review movies every day in protest. I have all of these essays and these reviews, just so that we're all on the same page here. And so that's what I did. I reviewed 3 films, An American in Paris, Mr. Skeffington, and Gone with the Wind. And so it was about like maybe 12,000 words.
Zazed, Gone with the Wind, mentioned. Everything Brian says is true. I 100% agree with that. Very true. Angelina tried accusing Brad of beating her up on a private flight, but it's probably bullshit because she is batshit insane.
Whoa!
I would agree with that sentiment, yes.
over the course of a week. And so I tweeted the third one, 4,500 word review of Gone with the Wind, directly to Quentin at Q Tarantino tweet.
Sorry, what's this guy's Twitter? Is it Critical Sorcerer as well?
Him with a gun to his head, if that tells you anything. And that was on a Tuesday. And the following day, Wednesday, he canceled the film. Right? That's what actually occurred.
Whoa!
Right? No aloof artistic bullshit. That's what actually occurred. Right? That he was calculating in his mind. And he said, "Oh no, I don't want this guy to like keep under boycott the movie critic, to keep reviewing movies in protest, because eventually it's going to bring people to his essay, which makes the
Okay, his Twitter's not that good. I just wanted to find those his movie reviews, but I mean, I guess it's all the information is concealed within these videos. I would imagine.
allegation that I appropriated Brad Pitt's spousal abuse, which got Brad Pitt an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Brad Pitt won an Oscar for beating up his wife on an airplane, and this guy is gonna like, is it true? Is it not true? It's illegible and therefore damning. And yes, it is true. It's the same story. This is what writers do. Is it what they always do? No. But
what's his Substack?
They write what they know. Quentin knows actors. Quentin knows shows business. He rearranged everything. Right? So Brad Pitt.
I'm assuming it's not sports.
When he got the Screen Actors Guild Award, because Quentin equally debased him and fictionalized his destruction of his marriage. That's what it is, right? Like no more varnish. So I wrote him immediately. Whomever checks the fucking mail at 1822 North Vermont Avenue, they like, unless they just want to lie to everyone, right? There's literally like 20 people around him that all know, right? Stacey Sher, Tom Rothman, right? All these cats, they know he was making the movie. He doesn't live in a vacuum. He doesn't get to go, oh poo poo, oh no, I don't like it anymore. No, they were doing it.
So I'm sorry, because he wrote at least some of the movie critic, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case in this one. I must be just confused. Obviously, everything he's saying is true and makes sense. I think I'm just confused on that matter.
Confused at the door, right? And so I said, okay, I'm going to buy his book. And then again, this is all him manipulating me. That he started remote viewing me every day, every single day.
To get him to buy his book, that's kind of interesting. That's some advanced marketing tactics from Quentin that I'm going to have to look into.
And so?
Remote viewing people to get them to join the Patreon. That seems very, very wise.
I bought his book, I was reading it. And then he announced the screening of Jackie Brown in New York, and I didn't think anything about it. It's like, it's none of my business. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. It seemed stalkerish.
I feel like this is sort of a cautionary tale about what living in New York does to an MFer. Something to think about there. Obviously, it's true and real, but you move to New York, you're going to get scrambled up with some bad people, possibly evil wizards. So something to be careful about if any of you guys are considering moving to NYC. Maybe just don't do that at all. It's not worth it. Doing Shakespeare's is not worth the torment that Brian is going through. Oh, what's up, Bill Hicks, 90210? This is sort of a targeted individual, but specifically targeted by Quentin Tarantino, who is a powerful sorcerer. So yes, but in a sort of very specific sense.
And so I was talking about it with my coworkers. I was working in New Orleans in Louisiana, slaving away, working outside, 100-degree heat, long sleeves, fire retardant clothing, like real work, you know? I wasn't on Days of Our Lives. And I was talking to my buddy, his name's Travis, he's a great guy. I said, I don't know what he wants, you know? Like, he doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't want to, right? He cancels his movie, he still refuses my letters. Like, I don't, you know, like, what am I supposed to do? And he says, well, maybe he's doing a book signing or something. I said,
he's doing a book sign or something.
I don't want to do that. Like, he needs to reach out to me. That's. And he said, well, maybe that's what he needs. And I kept thinking about it. I said, I guess you're right. Like, why can't I go? Like, why can't I go? And so,
True.
right, I bought the $500 ticket.
You guys, you gotta always shoot your shot, guys. Always. His Twitter has links to Google Docs. Does anyone? What's his Twitter at?
And he knew immediately. He knew as soon as I bought the ticket. He knew. He's watching me all the time. This is what he does.
Yeah.
And so it was
Oh,
like
the
another
Google
5
Docs are
weeks, and
broken?
somewhere like halfway between then.
Quentin must have taken them out. He's more powerful than we thought. Sorcerer Critic. Let me just copy that quickly. Let's do a quick.
And the screening, right? While he saw me reading Cinema Speculation, he said, "Oh, can you come up with any good questions?" And so I prepared 10 questions, right?
Okay, let's just check this out real quick here. Real quick here. Let's check it out. Okay, 7 followers. Now 8. Okay, so he last X'd. Wait, am I his only follower? How can this be? How is this possible? That's a little bit. This profile exists to expose Quentin Tarantino as the most evil man in the world. Jury's still out on that fine wife. Pulp Fiction has done immeasurable damage to the Goyim. True. I'm actually not entirely skeptical of paranormal abilities like remote viewing, but I think most of these guys are just paranoid. I mean, what's his proof? Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe that there's something to it, but it's also very dangerous, and if you do it, you open yourself up to whatever's going on with Brian Jennings here. You open yourself up to becoming this. So tread very lightly if you're doing anything in that world, because you may well become this picture. Okay. Quentin is actively performing damage control on his Google Docs. True. Yeah, you open yourself up to psychic aids. Literally that. So I wouldn't recommend it, though. I feel like there is some validity to that stuff. It's a little spooky being his only follower. I feel like I can't unfollow now, but I didn't really check before I hit follow, and now I'm the only one, so there's a decent chance he's going to look at... Well, no. Thankfully, Quentin has already taken him out, but... the true story of the movie critic is the story of Quentin and Harvey Weinstein. The actors are Harvey. Every night, if Quentin was available that Harvey had a meeting with any of the women, Quentin was exercising his mind to compel them into submission. Okay. And sorry, all these links don't work. Okay, he's tagging the New York Times about his Kickstarter. Yeah, this is why they had to take him out, definitely. Definitely. There's a Christopher Lee interview where he says not to look into the occult, otherwise you may fuck your soul up from what you read. Well, yeah. But yeah, exactly. You go too deep and suddenly you're this. You're exactly like this. Your hair is like that, your facial expression is like this, and you're holding a strange tetrahedron, It's very dangerous stuff. Is there any iota of merit or credibility that brought us here, or simply none at all? Yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah, there's actually a bunch of both of those things.
Went to New York. Got there, the day before? Got there 2.5 hours early. Boom, I was right there in the front of the line. Waited with everyone. Had a bunch of nice conversations. Right, I brought my guitar just to maybe play.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the the soulful white boy who brings his guitar to the function. Let's go. I mean, exactly. Okay, it's like what he was saying earlier. Women have literally no argument as to why he should not get to impregnate them. No argument at all. He's playing Django Reinhardt, note for note, on his acoustic, at the function. You have no argument. If you have Styx, Hexenhammer phenotype, please avoid sorcery. You will become graped. Real. What's up with Styx these days? He's totally graped now, isn't he? Isn't he in jail and dying or something? Again, Again, you don't want to look into the tetrahedron, guys. This will happen to you.
There a long time, but I had such a nice time talking with everyone. I just ended up shooting the shit.
Wait, did you just come back? You came back from Eminem? That's awesome.
Really nice people. I'm sure a lot of them remember me. And so
Wait, is he following the Pope? Emming. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, he follows a centrist, Christian centrist, smartass extraordinaire. That sounds dreadful. Bald guy with beard and glasses who's a centrist and a smartass extraordinaire. That sounds terrible. Burbank Film Fest, the Pope, the other Pope, the Monroe Institute, Alan Moore, and Elon Musk. Okay, crazy blunt rotation there.
Whoa!
And the Maroon. Did we cover the Monroe Institute? Is that the one where they do like men who stare at goats stuff? That's like ringing a bell. Are they the one who's doing men who stares at goat stuff, or is that some other institute? I can't remember if we talked about it or that's them. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was one of the places where the Jeff Bridges character in Men Who Stare at Goats went to, and there was some like weird, like creepy stuff going on there, as I recall. Not sure how I found this channel, but happy to be here. Welcome, brother. The fire? Oh, it's rising. Oh, it's rising. The Pope wrote an encyclical on the dangers of AI called Magnifica Humanitas, and the folks used AI detection apps to analyze it. 62 to 100% was tagged as written by AI. Oh, no. We need Hugh to get a do-rag. You know, I actually do have one. Nick McQuick gifted me one at some point. I don't know where it is, but it's a cool, like, shiny chrome-colored one. It's very swag. I'll have to dig it out. I might have lost it when I moved. The Pope has been great. Fat 2 is LARPing. Refer to Gibson. Yeah, a Hugh rag. True.
In mind, I was prepared to just, like, leave the guitar. I was like, I knew that they might say, oh, you can't bring that in.
Yeah, I mean, I have not read the Pope's encyclical. I feel like I'm generally, I can get a vibe when something is AI, but I haven't read it. I don't know how good AI is at detecting it, but, I mean, it is very tempting if you have to do any type of, like, professional writing these days, just to use AI to do the bulk of it and then, like, delete all the M dashes, because, like, who really cares, right?
And so...
But yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'm going to guess. He was deemed too soulful to bring his acoustic guitar into the function, and that set off sort of a chain of horrific events.
Right? The screening of Jackie Brown was followed by a conversation with Robert De Niro and Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
Boom, I'm in the front row.
Robert De Niro, not even Italian, actually something else. Fun fact. Not even Italian, he's fake Italian.
And the credits roll, and the director of the festival comes out, does her introduction, and then they come down from the top of the row.
The sweater is swag. Listen, nobody's saying anything about the sweater. It's very cool. If you want to get a skill or something, it could give you generally pretty good ideas on daily schedules to make and practice it. Yeah, I use it for like tech support all the time, and it works exceptionally well. Because say what you will about it, it does know how computer programs work. Yeah, he's a WAP Ginzo. Maybe the Pope was playing the metagame and showing the dangers of AI by demonstrating papal encyclicals can be AI generated. Why not government? Why not laws? Maybe. What was he for AI or again it? Was he for it or again it? I didn't really look into that at all. Little does he know he's about to get psychic aids from Tarantino. True. Some sort of foreshadowing early casino check. Yeah. I've always wanted to tell the guitar guy at the party to shut up. Yeah, it's risky. You might end up getting sued into eternity if you cross the wrong guy. But yeah, this is the most swagged out he's been in any video. I do like this sort of collegiate sweater he's got going on here. Kip, if LaFonda was white. Real. Are there any videos of Brian before he got Tarantino AIDS? I don't think so. I think he put out all 500 videos in 1 year, and I believe it's all after. This one's really long, but I'm still kind of entranced by this one, so I want to watch it for a bit more. But in a little bit, we can check like his earliest video, and we can see. But I think they're all on this topic, but we'll look into it.
Right? And so, everything that he says is in relation to me. Right? Everything, like, that it's all, right? That, like, he and I had been, like, cultivating this relationship. Right? And so it's my fault, right? Like, everything up until now, it's all my fault.
1,000,000 times.
Right? That he wanted me to question him about his book, and then he would have revealed me as the movie critic.
You what? 1,000,000 times? We will be investigating Brian Unchained for months. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, given that we're almost 2 hours into this one, and we've only managed to get through 1 and 20% of his videos, I have a feeling that he is going to enter the roster alongside Bob Hickman as worthy of checking in on every week. But, we'll see.
And so I had a letter in the book.
Because like I said, guys, this does directly link to Starseed Netlink, the evil traitor Cavi, and the murder of James Rink. So everything is connected. Everyone do the hand signal at your gaming computer. Everything is connected. Genuine question, aside from sputtering out into nothingness, what actions do you think he will actually take? Well, I'm guessing that he's lying in a hospital bed right now with beeping machines and various serums being pumped into him in Israel, would be my guess. And Israel. Well, yeah, and Israel, sure. 2 hours in and we've barely diagnosed. What'll it take to pop this pimple? I mean, listen, man, that's just the way it is for a detective. You have to be tenacious. You have to never give up. No matter what odds are stacked against you, you must persevere. Nevertheless, they persisted. Wise words. Dash Elizabeth Warren. Do you think he has his foreskin?
Whoa!
I don't know. Let's do a vote. 1 for yes, 2 for no. What are we thinking, guys? I'm voting 2, but let's see what chat has to say on that. 1 for he does have his foreskin. 2 for he does not have his foreskin. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 2s. Ben coming in with the hot take of yes. Okay, it's getting mixed up a bit here. Overall, 2s are in the lead. Don't like 99.9% of Amerisharts get clipped? Isn't it 99.9999999% clipped? Is this before or after Tarantino took it? Well, I think after, personally. 0.5. He has it, but it's in a jar of formaldehyde on. Yeah, I could definitely see this guy when he learned that Quentin moved to Israel. He gave himself an adult bathroom circumcision. I think that's a distinct possibility in this case. I think I think he has foreskin, but they took everything else. Yeah, real. Very real.
This book as an example. He finishes, he looks right at me, he says, I think we're going to end now. And so, right, he's got his back to the audience, right? Said, I was hoping you'd sign my copy of Cinema Speculation, Quentin. He turns around and he comes and he signs.
For context, he is holding an acoustic guitar, too. Just keep that in mind as he relays this story.
He says, where do I sign? I say, anywhere you want. Wherever you'd like. I had a letter inside of the book. Right, so he signs it, he gives me the pen back. He looks at me just for a second, then he looks up. I shoved the book all the way up to his face, right? But for the letter. I wanted him to take the letter. Right? It's all like this. All up to his face. Right? And so he stuck his nose up at me, and he turned his back on me, knowing that I had written him twice since he canceled the film, right as he canceled it, and a week before Tribeca. And so I did the same thing and left. And that's again, right? That's he didn't actually need to say more. He did enough in his way. He just didn't do enough for me. I don't want to have to trust the voices in my head. right? Like, yes, he was making jokes about classical theater and like talking about getting a life-changing role.
Sometimes I pretend like I'm legit upset that they took my foreskin with my mom and ask her why she did it, and she gets very defensive every time. It's very funny. But yeah, I do like his black guy voice. I mean, it is kind of, it's kind of fucked up, but I mean, every Amerifat is in the same boat, so it's like that for all you guys,
And like all these things, like, oh, subtlety, intuition, right? Like, sure. And in his mind, he said, oh, if he can do this good, I know he's good. Right? And so, I knew I blew it immediately, of course. I knew I blew it. I knew. There was people behind me in line to leave. Right? But I wanted to make it right. I knew immediately, I said, oh God, I gotta make it right. I gotta make it right. And so everything up until that point, right, is all forgivable under the eye of God. Right?
Wait, was Crispin Glover like this about Spielberg? You know what? I'm actually going to add that to the list. I feel like Crispin Glover / Spielberg, that could be an interesting jumping off point for all sort of Hollyweird mysteries. One, there was a schizo woman who was a customer at a store I used to work at, and she would use this exact voice and then suddenly change to British Indian. Interesting. Very interesting. 3Dog from Fallout 3. I'm gonna guess that's an apt comparison. I've not played through that game. She said James Brown stole her. Oh, damn. Thanks for keeping me morning, Noid. Hugh and the boys would have fallen asleep and not gotten my bag packed if it wasn't for you guys. Yeah, shout out, man. I hope your trip goes well, brother, man. Crispin's blog is a great starting point for Hollyweird. Maybe if nothing important comes up, maybe we'll do that next week. Although I'm getting so distressed about the Kavi Starseed situation that might warrant a whole episode. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see how it goes when we get in there in half an hour or whatever.
Under the spiritual origin of life, because it's his movie. He's allowed to make his movies however he wants. And so if he expected me to succeed under some psychic crucible initiation trial by fire in order to play the role, then I failed that, and so I can't play the role, right? But everything that's occurred thereafter is essentially pure evil. That's like...
Good question. Where did Cavi come from? What's the most evil planet in the SSP Galactiverse? Because I'm going to say that one. Whatever the most evil one. So not Palladia. Where do reptiloids come from? Saturn? I'm going to guess Saturn.
I'm almost sure of it. He must have thought of it immediately.
Saturn.
I'm going to just...
A lot of people saying Saturn. Could Cavi be from the planet Israel? Planet Drake? Planet Gay Guy? All distinct possibilities here. Yeah.
Enjoy this guy. I'm going to at least make him seem insane. That's the nicest way of putting it. And really, he's wanted me to blow my brains out. He still wants me to blow my brains out. And so I wrote his agent immediately. I went back to work. Said it's bullshit that we're still doing this. It's like, it's not enough that I spent $1,000 of my money to fly there. It's not enough that I waited 3 hours in line. Right,
we got some late votes coming in. If you're in line, stay in line. Some of the late mail order votes are coming in. We've discovered a new batch, a new drop of votes have come in, and it's another one for him having a foreskin. Okay.
Still
a bold choice, but I respect it.
Expect me to bark like a dog? And again, that's it's his movie, right? Of course, I was being arrogant, and I started reviewing movies again. I said this solves nothing, and that's true, right? This is why, right? This is why it's David Fincher, right? Because I'm still alive. That's the point.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, more late ballots coming in, and they're all for had a foreskin. Well, that's democracy in action, y'all. Bark like a dog. He thinks well, that's what, okay, because in this one, in the other ones, he seemed to be implying that, he had written the movie critic, or at least a scene in the movie critic, but now it's sort of, based on his life, but, yeah, I don't know.
And so, The weeks unfolded. He kept watching me constantly. Right? And then after maybe like a week or so, my guilt really compounded upon itself.
6'7", y'all.
And I felt bad. So I'm going to, I wrote him a letter. I said, I'm going to make it right. And like, you can have my scene for free. And I'll do the movie for free. And like all these things. And, like genuine acts of contrition. Right? Which I suspect the people around him were like, seems reasonable. Right?
Yo, take her easy, chimp. Can have a good night, buddy.
But by the time I started building the planter, of course, he was just mocking me relentlessly, watching me every night, saying, "Oh, arts and crafts is for fags," and really ugly. Just again, right? Like this is now we're stepping into pure evil, abuses of wisdom, abuses of power. Remote viewing is a wisdom.
Imagine being a director and a homeless schizo comes up to you and says, "I'll be the lead in your next movie for free." I mean, that's a great deal. It's a great deal. Quentin was insane to say no and instead give him psychic aids. Very, very evil and twisted of him.
Knowing. So.
True, though. He's not homeless. He lives with his mom. It's different.
Maybe like a week or so, they sent me somewhere else. And it was leading into the days that I went to go see Fish. I went to go see Fish in Indiana, and then I went to Delaware a couple weeks later. And of course I heard him. He said, "This guy's nothing. He's ripping up my writing."
Yeah, honestly, Quentin Tarantino is such a sick fuck that he stole his whole script from Brian Jennings. He shouldn't just have to cancel production. He should have to go to jail if he's lucky.
Spirit was broken in a big way. Oh, for sure, it was. Right, and so now, right?
They should do like a hostage exchange where Israel has to give Gaza Quentin Tarantino in exchange for 1,000 prisoners or something like that. He would be homeless without his mother. I was being hyperbolic for the sake of the true, fair. Why isn't he in the David Fincher sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Well, clearly powerful, evil sorcerer Quentin Tarantino is also doing some sort of mind trickery on David Fincher, I would guess is the explanation there. He should have to smell a bunch of women's feet, which he definitely hates and doesn't love. True, that would show him. That would show him. And very true again, also, we would all be homeless without our mothers.
Now we're really stepping into the conspiracy of it all, and so there's two ways of looking at it, right? The first is that I had a psychotic break, like that's like then you're eating his ass.
That doesn't seem too likely. I'm sure he's throwing it out as a hypothetical. He's going to have the real answer after this.
You're feeding into his lie. You're taking your shoes off for Quentin, right? But my point is that
shout out all the mothers of the world. Where would we be without y'all?
Whatever he shows people to say, "Oh, this is where I told him," right? Because a bunch of people know that I'm the reason he canceled the film. He doesn't live in a vacuum, right? That's an outright fabrication. That's like there is no document. Because if he had said something to me practically, it wouldn't have detracted in any way, and I would have been prepared. And I was prepared, but I was too aloof. He didn't, right? He turned it into an exercise in clairvoyance, an exercise in power. And so when he turned his back on me, I said, "Oh, he wants sovereignty over my mind forever." That's where my mind was at. And that's what he has now. We both do. It's a case study in remote viewing, right? And so by the time that I go to Fish, he's remote viewed me every day for 3 months, 4 months. Long time. And so, right, while I was at Fish, right, at the witching hour.
Fish mentioned, witching hour mentioned.
Boom. Right?
Witching Hour, a great novel from the beloved author Anne Rice.
It's a dangerous psychic pressure upon me and reveals a woman. And so the following day, she's digging around in my head all day, calls me a weird vagabond and a literary scholar and some nice things and some rude things and stole.
Yeah, Hex, we're all learning a lot of disturbing things about Quentin Tarantino's sick and demented nature tonight.
All my secrets.
Yo, what's up, Dr. Peanut Butter? We're doing more. Basically, Quentin Tarantino is an evil sorcerer, deeply evil, deeply twisted guy. He's been torturing Brian for years, stealing his idea, using his psychic powers to convince beautiful Hollywood actresses not to let Brian impregnate them, even though they have literally no argument as to why he should not be able to. But Quentin is, using his horrific brain powers to basically trick them into not letting Brian bust in their vaginas. And fortunately, we all did power up at the beginning of the stream. We watched that video of the Starseed commenter shredding on his guitar to cast a circle of protection on us. So you might want to watch that on your second monitor just to give yourself some power for the last hour here. A lot of grim stuff. And that I think that's a pretty good summation of where we're at right now. Telling me I gotta sell my Blu-ray. I love how he expects anyone watching this to go along with the idea that Tarantino put a woman inside of his head to flirt with him. Well, I believe that 100%. It would be so awesome if this was all true and Quentin is at his estate in Tel Aviv casting mumbling curses on Brian like Snape in Harry Potter 1. Real. Very real. Oh, yeah, and Fish is involved. Brian was astrally projecting into Trey Anastasio. And while Quentin psychically attacked him, and that led to Brian having a seizure on stage, Trey having a seizure on stage, which Trey is now lying about in a very sinister fashion. I think Quentin is using those powers against me. Remember the guitar shredding. If you feel Quentin entering your mind, just think back to that powerful guitar shredding from the top of the show, and it will protect you. Sydney Sweeney won't fuck this guy just because Quentin Tarantino psychically told her not to. It's really messed up, True. Oh, thank you for the big 1111 Knox from Hexagon. Thank you. People give children instruments. Yes, that Trey Anastasio. He is deeply implicated in this whole scenario via sort of evil psychic connections between him and Brian and Quentin. There's sort of, if you've seen the movie Dark City, it's basically like the final scene of that where they're shooting colors out of their hands at each other in a sort of wizarding duel, very similar to Harry Potter versus Voldemort, Goku versus any number of opponents. They're sort of psychically Trey Anastasio, Quentin, Brian, they're floating. They each have their own color of spell. They are shooting at each other. It's pushing back and forth. That's sort of a rough summation of what's going on here. And also Brian was given AIDS psychically by Quentin Tarantino. This is wild. I wouldn't think that a foot guy living in Tel Aviv would have such a sinister past. I know, man. Nobody's more shocked than me. An evil guy living in Tel Aviv? Who's ever heard of such a thing?
And so again, right, the idea is that he wants me to seem insane. He wants me to, right? He says, or that's the best way of putting it. Like the honest, the truer way of putting it is that he wants me to blow my brains out. And so, at the very least, he has to...
Sorry, Hexagon. Does Norway have its own currency? Like, you guys aren't on the euro? What's going on there?
Make me appear insane to everyone around him. Right? Because he's saving face, right? He went through all of that and set that whole fucking thing up and breasted it all on his psychic clairvoyance. That's my point.
They have the kroner. Okay, no euros for them. Smart. On the Starlink shredding guy is the one I sent you. That dude kicks so. Yeah, it was that guy. We all watched that off the top to sort of give us psychic power for the depths that we're gonna sink to in this stream. And listen, this has all been very disturbing stuff. This will warrant more investigations, but just sort of gird your loins because we are going to be getting into the sort of horrific and terrifying Cavi situation shortly. So just let you know. So now is a good chance. You might want to rewatch that guy shredding right now to power up.
And so there's a big part of me that thinks that the people around him are like, he didn't sign up to play your fucked up mind games, right? He didn't make you cancel the film, right? That you went out of your way to do all this when you could have just spoke to him. So you need to talk to him. So he has to do something anyway, right? So after like hours of that, I was waiting for the show. I said, what do you want? You want me to go there and scream at the top of my lungs? And he said, yeah. Right? Again, catering.
Sorry, is this a psychic conversation he's having with Quentin Tarantino? Threatening to go yell? That is cool. Having a Kroner is way better than having the Euro, I would imagine. Kroner, crowns, sounds awesome. How old is this guy, you think? 38. 38's a strong guess. Yeah, I would guess like 35 to 40. Yeah, 38, strong guess. This is literally the worst day of my life, and now we're getting into cavi shit. I'm going to need to actually go shred my guitar to build enough strength to get through this day. Real. If you have to do it now. We're going to roll into cavi stuff in probably 15, 20 minutes. Could be 29. Could be. Yeah, I would say he's probably in his 30s, but I mean, I'm just guessing he's in his 30s because, like, what 20-year-old has developed enough psychical powers to go head-to-head against Quentin Tarantino, of all people? I think he could be surprisingly young. He isn't Norwooding at all. True. That's true. His hairline is impeccable, but I just think he has so much psychic power, and also he's, like, mastered every artistic pursuit. Guitar, shoemaking, lithograph prints. It's tough to do that in your 20s. It's an old battle hymn. It will be played as we charge into battle to slay Cavi and his evil, dark reptilian forces. Yeah, it's so distressing. This is the dangerous David Foster Wallace-style hippie. Very much a white wizard, dark wizard scenario. True. And I mean, listen, he's going head-to-head with Quentin Tarantino, a very powerful dark sorcerer. So, yeah.
Right? Feeding into, right? Pure evil. Pure evil.
Pure evil.
And so I said, okay.
All of my friends who turned into this had it happen in their mid-20s. True, actually. True. That's also the case with me. But some of them are still alive and still like this in their 30s, you know?
Funny guy. Right? You play fucked up mind games. I get it. So I flew to LA immediately. Went to WME. Of course, they didn't. They threw me out.
Well, okay, and also he did say that he was trying to become an actor in 2022, and like, I feel like you don't move to New York to try and become an actor in your 30s. So maybe he is younger. Did he mention if he just got out of the shower or not? Has he been up 3 days sweating and crawling on a chalkboard? I think he just got out of the shower and dressed in his finest cricket sweater.
You know, of course they did, because, right, he wants me to appear insane. He doesn't actually want me anywhere near him, right? He doesn't want to reconcile, right? And so I said, okay. I went to a taping studio, did it as a scene, went back, slammed it on the table, put the fear of God in everybody. They escorted me out, right? So the days unfold. They get the shit.
This is the thing. You guys are at a function and you see some crazy guy carrying a guitar and he's screaming and he gets like tossed out by security. It's really easy to immediately jump to judging that person when in fact, there could be a very simple hour-and-a-half long explanation for everything where that person is actually completely justified in screaming and also the victim in the situation. I had a roommate who looked just like this, and he was 22. Could be. Like, maybe he is in his 20s. It's hard. It's tough to say. Of course, when Tarantino told me to meet him, he tried to coax me into going up to him and looking insane. Yeah. Yeah, real. I had these glasses for a while when I discovered Dostoevsky. Zeist?
In the mail, right through Mike Simpson, his agent. This guy with Moloch.
Wait, did you just literally get these glasses? That's powerful. Just make sure they're not a conduit for Quentin to enter your mind. You might want to check.
On his head, the things that people call clairvoyant and remote viewing are the same things that people call magic and sorcery in centuries past. Right? Different words, same thing. So he's back in my head immediately, right? And so I had one secret left. Right, that I was worried I had AIDS. I'd been celibate for a long time. And so they stole it from my mind
do be
the
like
following
that.
day with tactics as old as time immemorial. And so I went to fish, and I went back to Delaware, and so, oh, I wish you well, and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, never read essays, guys. Guys, do not read essays. Do not read philosophy. Don't read any of that stuff. Read novels. Read Flashman novels. Zog glasses, he does have AIDS. True.
Da-da-da-da.
Tale as old as time. Time immemorial.
I didn't really talk about it at all. I talked about it coming in, but the whole weekend I didn't really talk about it. And that Monday, I started writing about it, and I wrote a bunch. I didn't really write that whole weekend either. I ended up in New York, and I got my buddy to send me some money, and I got a room. And after like a day, that fear, like just that, the violation of it all, I said I had to know. And so I went and got tested. Now, I didn't have it. I suppose, hopefully I don't have it, right? But they've done a bunch of evil shit, and we'll get to that in due time. So, right? Got tested, don't have it. Made another tape, wrote another letter, showed him the test, that there it is.
Okay.
Right?
So he does not have AIDS. Well, he doesn't have AIDS of the body. That's the thing about medical practitioners. They can test for AIDS of the body, but not of the mind. He does have casual heroin user energy. But yeah, no AIDS in his body, only in his mind. This is all a story he told himself to make sense of him losing his virginity to a guy a long time ago and being celibate after, and then checking to find out he got AIDS from that encounter. True. Very true.
Now have I humiliated myself enough?
No, brother man, you have not begun to humiliate yourself enough.
So the girl, right, is revealed, right? She's in love with me. That she's his daughter, right? That's what he says. I've always known that the internet exists, right? I've always known that I can look up his kids, right? But
okay, you're treading. Tread lightly here, Brian, my friend. Tread very lightly.
Right, his daughter's a little girl, and that's a subject of contention with me as far as what they've subjected her to.
Oh, boy. His daughter is a little girl, and that is a subject of contention. Okay, let's just... Quentin Tarantino, daughter, age... 3 years old. Oh, man. Oh, boy, Brian. You're going to want to eject from this line of thought, I think.
We can talk more about that in due time. But my point was that I wanted to trust it.
So maybe what he's getting at here, it might be totally like innocent, not sinister at all, that it's quite possible. What if, follow me here, guys, what if the daughter is actually Brian's from an intense, astrally projected encounter he had with Quentin Tarantino's fine-ass Yenta wife? What if that, That certainly reframes things, does it not?
I wanted to trust him. I wanted to trust the process. I didn't trust it at Tribeca. I wanted to show him, oh, I'm listening. Yes, I trust you. Like, oh, that's great. Like, okay, great. Like someone's in love with me, right? And she says, oh, I've never, when you cursed me, I've never been more attracted to a man.
Sorry, who's he talking about right now?
So if it's just a complete fucking fabrication, right, then what I suspect is that is actually some sort of like perverse metaphor or analogy is that Quentin has never been
proof
more
of my
moved
existence?
by an actor than when I sent him my scene about those actors reading my writing. That's, right, all things that emerge in this saga stem from some psychological truth within them. And so the weeks unfold and...
Because, sorry, the woman who was just proclaiming her love from him, was that Quentin Tarantino's daughter? Because I feel like that was the last person referenced.
Right? He finally says, oh, I'm going to announce tomorrow, and then the following day, my mind is just poisoned with notions of me wishing him dead, which wasn't true at all. It was all him manipulating me. Right?
Okay.
That's, I suppose, I want him to die as much as he wants me to die. That's like where I'm at with that. 100%. No more, no less.
All right, that's fair. That's reasonable.
So this
fair.
is why we're talking about it, because it's just ugly and dangerous now. And so finally, after days of that, I said, what do you want? You want me to go?
Well,
now?
yeah, these videos are just so like deep and layered that it has taken us over 2 hours to get through 45 minutes of video, because you have to sort of debrief as you go, because there's just so many layers. There's so much going on.
Play with my money, and he says yes. Right, and so I had one asset left, my Hasselblad camera, my analog camera, 2-inch square. And so I pawned it for $300, $2,000 camera, spent half of it on a flight. Right, all the while they're just burying me in sexual lust. Right, all to get me to touch myself so they can laugh at me, and I never did.
That's literally exactly how it is, man. Exactly how it is. When you wrap up the video, you feel as though you've just learned nothing. It's almost like you just listened to a schizophrenic ramble for 2 hours. It's almost like that, but obviously not at all, because it's just sort of a true story, basically. This guy's podcast is really good. Might listen to this at work tomorrow. You're in luck. He's got over 500 more of these up on his channel. I had one asset left, my asshole. Burying me in sexual lust so they can get me to touch myself so they can laugh at me. Story of my frickin' life, right?
Right.
Sexual rust.
So, while I'm walking to the airport, I think LaGuardia, I can't remember which one, but one of the airports, it turns evil. Everything turns evil again. And she says, right, and it's all him, or maybe his wife's involved. Maybe he has someone who's like his daughter. I suppose that's the other alternative, that she's not like actually his daughter, but she's like related to his wife in some way.
Because it's him and his wife's daughter, obviously.
And
this is exactly what
Cavi's
Cavi's doing.
Torture
True.
you with what you could have had, etc.
That's why we're studying this, because these are Cavi tactics, K tactics. And this guy has such a deep understanding of them that we can extrapolate this to the Starseed situation.
I don't know. I don't get it. He could have just left me alone and moved on with his life. Or paid me. Right? Like, that's what a cool person would do. Right? But they put up this other psychic test for me. She says, I want you to stop me and kiss me hard. Again, all to get me in handcuffs. All to cry rape. Get me put in handcuffs.
I know some other K tactic. The KQ.
So he can go, ha, 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 ha. And so I was going there anyway. I said, okay, sure. So I'm gonna go to 1822 North Vermont Avenue.
Somebody pointed out that he does the same thing with his nose as me, and now it's making me self-conscious. But there's just something about being on camera that makes you want to sort of touch your nose and like pick your nose and eat the boogers and stuff. You know what I mean, guys?
That's where I went.
Who is he kissing? I think Quentin Tarantino's daughter, but I'm not 100% certain about that.
And I stayed until he sent someone right by me. I'm sure of it. It was a girl.
Sorry, what's the address? What did I miss? What address?
She had a dog and a hat. No, I let her walk right by. I didn't do anything. What am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna do that. On top of, right, being who I am, which is timid in a big way. Despite how boisterous I am.
It's like 10 seconds ago. Sorry, Liz.
I don't get it. He could have just left me alone and moved on with his life, or laugh at me, and I never did. Right? So, while I'm walking to the airport, I think LaGuardia, I can't remember which one, but one of the airports, it turns evil. Everything turns evil again.
They're tricking you into touching yourself.
Right, and it's all him, or maybe his wife's involved. Maybe he has someone who's like his daughter. I suppose that's the other alternative, that she's not like actually his daughter, but she's like related to his wife in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't give him what he wanted, he said, I'll torture you with what you could have had, etc., etc. I don't know. I don't
sure.
He could have just left me alone and moved on with his life. Or paid me. Right? Like, that's what a cool person would do. Right? But they put up this other psychic test for me. She says, I want you to stop me and kiss me hard. Again, all to get me in handcuffs. All to cry rape. Get me put in handcuffs. So he can go, ha, 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 ha. And so I was going there anyway. I said, okay, sure. So I'm gonna go to 1822 North Vermont Avenue.
1822 North Vermont Avenue. There's the Hollywood Sikh Gurudwara is right there. It appears to be in Thai Town. Yeah, it would have been really cool if Tarantino paid this guy, and didn't instead trick him into. Sorry, how do I get it back to map view? Let's just analyze it from here. So it's next to the House of Pies and the Figaro Bistro. Right next to a United States Postal Service thing. We all know what that means. Sharing a building with Guac Daddy. Yeah, this is very sinister. Though it appears to be an unmarked... check out Dua Lipa's, what? An unmarked warehouse, presumably full of great evil. Oh, where was it? Yeah, so it's in this building with the very sinister bunch of celebrities right next to Guac Daddy Taqueria. Very sinister stuff. Ominous evil energy, true. Yeah, I'm going to guess he had to go meet with the Guac Daddy, who I believe is a powerful occult figure in Los Angeles. Very evil city. In the evil city of Los Angeles. Guac Daddy. Yeah. Let's see what's on this side here. Very sinister. Los Feliz. What is... I don't know what that is. That looks like a movie theater or something. Very, very sinister.
All right, and so that's where I went.
Yeah, and back to map streaming, y'all.
Stayed until he sent something.
Gawk Daddy.
It was a girl. She had a dog and a hat. No, I let her walk right by. I didn't do anything. What am I going to do? I'm not going to do that. On top of, right, being who I am. Which is timid in a big way, despite how boisterous I am. I don't go out of my way to ingratiate myself where I'm not wanted. Right? And so I know that he wanted me to be strong. I know that that's like how he saw it in his mind.
And the he here is Quentin Tarantino's psychic messages, right? He wants him to be strong because he's putting them through tests.
I wanted him to be honest and simple with me. That's what I wanted. So, after I let her walk away, I said, "Oh, I gotta go to the hospital. I'm not well. Again, I've gone through the full 7 stages, right, of everything. Right, but it's all the same tactic, right? It's the same.
Well, he has all the spiral notebooks because he's a writer, one of the best writers, in fact.
It's all the same tactic.
Trillions of dollars worth of movie scripts in there.
Told me to question him about cinema speculation. Right, it's the same tactic that revealed the girl that told me she was.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking that, Grammy. He does kind of imply that he saw a woman and thought about raping her. That does seem to be sort of implied in what he said there, but he didn't because he's timid, and Quentin wants him to be strong.
Love me, etc., etc., etc. And so I walked all the way across town to Cedars-Sinai in West Hollywood. It's like 3-hour walk. And they 5150'd me. I spent 3 days in the hospital. I didn't have to say much. I told them the truth, and they said I was delusional.
Doctors.
So after a day in the hospital, I said, "Oh, Western medicine can't help me." And that's still true now. That's still true now. We're on a subtle spiritual level.
True. He needs Eastern medicine, like those Chinese stores where you go and pick out like various roots and stuff. He wrote Pulp Fiction. True. I'm gonna have to unfollow him for talking about thinking about grape. Yeah, real. But he was tricked into that, so you can't blame him. No, they wanted him to grape, but he knew it was a trick, so he abstained as to not let them win. True. He should be respected for that, frankly. He's one of the top Holocaust fan fiction writers in New York, but Quentin won't recognize him. Pure evil. So true. So true. So who is this guy anyway? He's the sort of the talent behind all your favorite Quentin Tarantino films. Yeah, we wouldn't want this guy on like SSRIs or even just a white genocide. But yeah, real. Is that how the elite implicate so many? They use mind control to make the ones who fight grape wear down their mind until they become one of them? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I knew a guy like this, and he cut his wrists in a bathtub 3 different times, and now I see him walking to work at his gas station job. Based. If you're raped as a child, are you pedo? Just asking questions. Oh, fair question. To be clear, I like the guy. I'm just reporting the facts. Just reporting the facts, folks.
So it's about coping mechanisms, and coping mechanisms is disclosure, is talking about it. So I spent my 3 days in the hospital. They got me a cab ride back to West Hollywood. I'm back on the street, writing every day, right? Just torture, just psychic torture all the time. Now she's a whore and she doesn't want to be with me. She's not real. That's the point. He doesn't have an adult daughter.
Oh, okay, guys. Everybody calm down. All this time he's been talking about a adult daughter who doesn't exist, instead of the actual toddler daughter. So we can stop worrying about it. It's an adult daughter who just so happens to not exist, okay?
Right? And so, like, I guess, like, in my mind, it's like, despite the fact that, like, I didn't want to trust it at Tribeca, and I was trying to trust it then, there also was this part of me that was like, oh, you violated my mind in such a way, you must want to be close to me. That was, like, my rationale in my mind. And of course, he's just a wicked, evil man. That's all it is. That it was a sick joke to him. Mm-hmm. To say, it's good that he didn't give me what I wanted, because... right? Like, he's actually insane. He's not willing. Like, my daughter's a little girl, right? So my point is that, like, after I got out of the hospital, I said, okay. Let me backtrack just a little bit. When I got out of the hospital, I said, okay, you keep telling me that this girl loves me, and so I'm gonna write a bunch of poems. I'm gonna write a bunch of love poems, just to show them, like, I'm listening, right? Not out of desperation, right?
Not out of desperation. Okay, good. Just to sort of prove to Tarantino psychically that his love for his daughter is pure. His adult daughter who can consent is pure. Okay, normal stuff makes perfect sense.
It caters right perfectly to this idea that I'm not well in my mind. That's how I delivered all of them by hand, and I'm sure he was laughing his ass off, going, "Oh wow, see, look how unwell my daughter's a little girl. She's a sweet little girl." And we'll talk more about that in terms of the science of what's occurring on the back end. But then it just degenerated into, oh, she's a whore, she doesn't want to be with you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these things. And I said, okay, I'm gonna write more writers about this. Right? Again, just...
yeah, I'm pretty sure the Canadian dollars on the GoFundMe was just because I was looking at it. Totally not desperate for your underage daughter, just trying to prove a point. Yeah, real.
Just to have him tell me definitively what he wants me to do, right? And it just took me all this time to realize he wants me to put a gun in my mouth. He wants me to hang myself. Because I'm a trusting, loving guy. I'm very gullible. And so I wrote a letter to Thomas Pynchon, Salman Rushdie, and David Berlinski. I had written David Berlinski previously, before Tribeca. And I had mentioned it, but I never said Quentin's name. And so I said, I catered right into his hand, talking about how, I'm in love with this girl, it's his daughter, and...
oh, boy.
Made a complete fucking fool of myself.
Oh, boy.
And I don't care about that. Like, I have nothing to regret about that. Being a loving, generous person. Right?
Sorry, what's this? I would discard this man as a schizoid if Tarantino hadn't already been well documented doing this exact thing to Roger Avery. Very sinister. I don't know who Roger Avery is, but that's very sinister that he's been well documented doing this exact thing to other people in the past. That adds a lot of credence to everything that Brian is saying here.
But eventually, right, he started plaguing my mind with David Berlinski, saying, "Oh, David Berlinski wants to help you, and he wants to help you play Hamlet." And I know this, the Discovery Institute is out of Seattle, and I know a girl in Seattle who's very pretty and charming. Her name's Hannah. And then Hannah's in my mind. And, it's all bullshit. It's all a dense braid of psychosexual torture to get me to blow my brains out. And so they want me to go to Seattle And so I said, okay, sure, I'm listening, I'll go. And I walked all the way to Skid Row. I was walking like 12 miles a day. And I went to the homeless service. I said, I need a bus ticket to Seattle. And they brought me back. And I said, who's picking you up? I said, oh, the Discovery Institute. And they said, huh? I'll take us this place. I said, it has to be an individual. And so I found their number and I called them. Right? And they said, yeah, we've been getting your letters, but you can't talk to anyone. They told me to fuck off. That's like, right? And then it became clear. It's like,
okay, there's so much going on here, though I do kind of want to get to some Starseed stuff. This is just such a deep and compelling case, but I do kind of feel like we should at least check in with Starseed. She is in grave danger. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're gonna have to put a pin in this investigation for this week. I don't know if we've solved it per se. We have obviously uncovered a lot of very disturbing evidence against one Mr. Quentin Tarantino, kind of confirmed as an Israeli sorcerer. So that's a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing that someone like that has so much access in Hollywood. I did not see that coming at all. And I'm kind of distressed to learn that that type of thing is going on in Hollywood. Even with some of your favorite directors, perhaps. But I'm sort of being lured like Gollum to the ring by this thumbnail over here. Lady Arya Starfleet. He literally changed her name. Yeah, we might just do more of this next week. This case, I am still filing this case as active. It's going to be a cold case until next week when we'll do more investigation on this topic. But, we are 2.5 hours in. We got 30 minutes left. I think Starseed needs us. She's clearly in a lot of a very dangerous situation. So I think we should at least look into that before we end the stream tonight. We learned so much. 1, this guy wants to date Tarantino's underage daughter. 2, he thought about raping a woman. 3, Tarantino psychically gave him AIDS. Yeah. Do you think you'll do a Saturday stream instead because of the huge UFC White House fight on Sunday? I could. I did not know that was happening, but if everyone's going to be busy watching the huge UFC White House fight on Sunday, I could do one on Saturday next week if people would prefer that, because everyone needs to watch the huge UFC White House fight on Sunday. Because we got a few men hugging and kissing fans in chat, right? So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do it on Saturday next week. I know you guys are all going to be watching the huge UFC fight, so yeah, maybe I'll do it Saturday next week. I was not thinking. It does start at 5 on Sunday, and I was asking selfishly for me and Myron. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can do a Saturday one. And also, I think Saturday, I would guess, is probably more conducive for some of our least coasters, because I know this gets pretty late for them. So, tentatively, we'll go on Saturday next week. But yeah, we're gonna put a pin in this for now. We're gonna check in on Starseed. I'm just gonna give everyone sort of a trigger warning before we go over here. We're about to see some very disturbing stuff. Some of you, if you're gonna find this too distressful, maybe stop watching now. We are gonna be going to some pretty dark places now. A beautiful angel is in distress. A princess has been captured by an evil wizard sorcerer guy. He's doing Quentin Tarantino stuff to us. So just be aware. That's what we're getting into, okay? Avery wrote the screenplay, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and T-Romance before Quentin used psychic magic to make him drink, drive, and murk his wife. Oh my. But okay, I've given the trigger warning. We're going in, guys. So gird your loins. This is going to be very distressing, but we have to bear witness.
Okay.
Okay, right off the top, Cavi has been doing some kind of insane makeup on her, and he also appears to be wearing lipstick. I'm so angry, I can't even put it into words. Dislike. One comment. Okay, it's not you guys. Okay.
I think that we are live. Hello, everybody, and
Yeah, I mean, just based on this makeup, I've seen this many times before. This does mean she's being human trafficked right now. It's really tough to see, but this is sort of the classic human trafficking victim makeup. He's even changed her name to Lady Aria Starflower of Sophia. Yeah, he's literally trooning her. He's trooning her, guys. And he also... A man's lips should not be that red and glossy. He appears to be wearing makeup himself, unless it's smudged off her from kissing, which is a thought that I do not even want to... A shape I don't even want to rotate in my head, okay? She's clearly being human trafficked right now, okay?
welcome to Starseed Netlink, also known as Lady Aria Starflower of Sophia. And today we're going to be going ahead and answering some...
too much invested. I know. Listen, I warned you guys ahead of time. We're going into some very dark places, okay? Okay?
already prepared questions that our audience has left behind on some of our videos over the past month in the beginning of this month. So we're going to go through those first before...
Look at his stupid fucking
we're gonna
face.
Be going to some of
he's bimbofying her. He's literally bimbofying her, guys.
the questions that our audience has
Bastard.
already started to post.
Asshole bastard. Bloody
for
bastard.
people who are new tuning into listening to my YouTube channel,
I think what they're doing, is anyone familiar with Throbbing Gristle and Genesis P-Orage and how like him and his girlfriend did like weird surgeries and stuff so they like both turned into each other? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what's going on here. This is sort of a Genesis P-Orage and what was his girlfriend's name? Lady K or whatever. They're doing that weird thing where they're going to get surgeries so they look like the same person. It's very sinister, very creepy stuff.
my YouTube channel is mostly centered around Starseed.
Wachowski sister type shit, exactly. Yeah, Lady Jane or Jane. Yes, thank you. But you know what I'm talking about? How they got like weird surgeries so they became the same person. Cavi, the sick, twisted fuck Cavi, is clearly doing that on his human trafficking victim, Lady Aria. No, I'm not going to call her Lady Aria Starflower. That's insane. Starseed 1488.
SSP, spirituality, all the beginnings and basics of this. And not only that, but I also have a very popular series on my YouTube channel called Space School Lessons, if people want to check that out. Please share, like, sub, or donate. All that information is in
Yeah, Cavi would love if we submitted to his evil plans, but we won't. We won't ever do that, no.
my YouTube profile. This is my co-host, Kavi. Why don't you go ahead and introduce
Bastard.
yourself?
Bloody
How's it
bastard.
going? I'm Lord
Bloody
Kavi
fucking.
Blaha, and I'm at Lord_KAVI777 on YouTube, and basically all other sites. So yeah, we've been doing Galactic Disclosure Showcase for a while now, looking at different.
I hate him. I hate him so much, guys. I hate him so much. Can we please get a... Yeah, good call. I don't know how to make a square off the dome, but here, I'll cover him with my camera here.
Different sets of material put out by different whistleblowers and contactees and just different resources in the Starseed Ascension Awakening space. My channel is very Law of One based. Law of One being the highest and best timeline for all. The Guardians are multiple groups from Dimensions 12.
And Kay, I'm sorry, he has literally no riz, no aura, no game. He's so boring, he's so stupid, so hideous, so repulsive, so disgusting, so disrespectful.
12 through 15D, notably 13 through 15D, where there's no polarization and separation. So they actually guard the infinite
I'm skipping
flow of
ahead. I
naturally
can't
source.
listen to this bastard.
I would talk to your higher selves. I would talk to other beings.
At least in my opinion, at least want to swing.
a soul right after. Okay, whatever.
at least want to give my opinion about this, but to get shot at or like hunted.
Very good question, Myron. Why do girls always fall for guys like this and not me? That's so real. So real, so true. Women are so fucked up. They keep going for like the most like evil guys around. It's actually crazy.
Down and mounted up like what you do would do with deer and stuff. So they're more afraid of being hunted by humans than being discovered by humans, and that's probably the reason why encounters with them are so terrifying, is because they don't want to get shot at. They're just minding their own business in the woods, and so yeah.
I have a few things on the Yeti. So,
oh my god, shut up, Cavi.
From my notes,
shut up.
Nobody
cares.
Sitting in like
Cavi.
4D. Some of them are sitting in 5D, and so, first of all, they don't like to be called Sasquatch.
In all seriousness, he sucks so much. He's so stupid. He's so boring. He has nothing else to say. He's just mumbling out numbers. Nobody cares. Shut the fuck up, Cavi. Where's my gematria calculator? Let's check this. This is going to be sinister stuff, guys. Gird yourselves. We're gonna check this out. Cavi. I'm gonna guess a lot of evil, sinister gematria hits. Cavi literally always has some bullish to say about everything. I know he's so boring. He's so stupid. Just making up numbers and stuff. What a stupid asshole. Cavi in Hebrew gematria is 720, which lines up to be the rescue of God bride. Okay? Okay, guys? Time to fly off of frickin' building. Manchester United, a very evil team. The most evil team, I'm pretty sure. Autismus, Ammon, perfluochemicals. The bride it be lied about. That's exactly what's happening to Starseed right now. If God, bride, and daughter, real heir, his daughter his real heir, daughter be ignored. You know, I think that kind of speaks for itself. It's very sinister stuff. We already learned Bigfoot is a rapist. Of course, Cavi has brainwashed her to think they're peaceful beings. I know, so real. He's such a sick piece of shit. I want to rescue the God bride. Exactly. I love the philosophical, logical, scientific vigor these guys use when making their claims. Yeah, I mean, Starseed, when she's alone, obviously has some very important insights into the nature of reality. Cavi's just a piece of shit liar, grifter, charlatan are sort of words that come to mind when I think about him. That's all those words were in the gematria thing, if you guys will recall. It's a fake name he made up, so good things coming might be inverted. Yeah, his real name is, I don't even know. It's like stupid asshole or something like that.
There are a number of indigenous names that the Indians had for them.
Oh my god.
One of them is like Wetiko.
Shut
up.
Stupid bastard.
Yeah, it does look like that. Like when you go into space, it's mostly just black when you get taken. And when they give you a chance to look out the windows, like, yeah, it's a big giant light blue ball. And all around it, like...
True. He's so fucking stupid and, like, not even hot. He's such a bastard.
You won't see stars, but you'll definitely see black because it takes a really, really... You have to have, like, special eyesight in order to, like, see all the different stars, but at least from what I understand, yeah.
Oh, actually, I should not. I should probably not search Twitter live because, yeah. I want her to sparkle and shine. He should be behind the scenes. He shouldn't. He should be under the scenes. If you follow my drift, she's arrived at Globetardism from first principles. But yeah, he shouldn't be behind the scenes. He should be under the scenes. All right, y'all.
People just don't believe NASA anymore because, yeah, they kind of airbrushed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So NASA stands for, so NASA in Hebrew means to beguile or trick. So there's that. And
yeah, you love Hebrew, don't you, Lord Cavi? So, bastard.
Anyway, we're not. So look, when you actually look at the NASA images that are released in the fine print, they say that this is a simulated image because it is. If you dig deep enough, they actually copy and paste different versions. They'll take a tiny piece of one of the planets and copy and paste it in other places. It's scrappy work for like a graphic designer. So I
wait, are they literally touching? That's extremely distressing if true.
can't blame you in being like,
Yeah, literally, Cavi, move to Tel Aviv. We don't want you here. You're not welcome. Maybe Tel Aviv would prefer your weird, fucked up vibe, but we don't like it at all, actually. And neither does Starseed.
I don't even know what NASA's
Especially Starseed doesn't like it. She might be being tricked and human trafficked right now, but she's not interested, pal.
saying, because I don't know what they're saying.
True. Look, okay, very true, very true. Everyone imagine the green lines. Look at her angle. It's practically horizontal. She's leaning away from him so hard, using body language to signify, help me, I'm being trapped against my will. The angle is crazy. It's actually, I've never seen a worse one in my life. Probably the worst angle I've ever seen. She's bending away. It couldn't be any more obvious that she's kind of his prisoner, and is calling out for help from some brave super soldier guys to save her, essentially. The angle is crazy. I can't look away from the angle. Is so wild, guys. It's she's basically out of frame, exactly, on her own damn channel. The angle is so extreme. Yeah, I mean, basically it's over for him. She's not interested anymore. She's seen through his ruse, and it's up to some brave sort of knights to save her, essentially. That's a really normgroid take about NASA photoshopping badly. That's from an Instagram reel about how the iPhone wallpaper more. Yeah, I mean, that's a... yeah, people getting red-pilled on Instagram, I feel like, is kind of an issue these days. Yeah, well, yeah.
But let's be clear, it's not flat, right? The flat Earth stuff is not a thing. Yes, there are,
and he's even filling her head with globetard nonsense. It's so sick. I would be leaning away too right now.
There are pocket dimensions.
He does look like a total fruitcake,
which somewhat line up with the beyond the ice walls type of thing, but we're not on a flat plane whatsoever. The Earth is round.
Yeah, let's just do a quick buck check of her recent comments. See if anyone's been trying to save her in there. And real quick, who wants to dibs this one? We're not going to watch the video, but speak now. 20 comments. Lord Cavi, piece of shit. Dislike. Or any of us in there? No, phallic frequency is making a move. Maybe he's an ally, I would hope. Just confirmed it's flat. People get it mixed with Nasha, but I'm drunk. Nasha. It's also from Flamecology Dance, which is a very funny to think of a zesty Mexican man asking Lord Cavi if space is free. True. Good eye. Good eye.
Look, from a higher dimensional point of view, I can speak to this very well. Each planet has a way it looks in a certain dimension. So when NASA looks at a planet with their telescope, they view that in 3D because they're using 3D equipment. When you go to, this planet resonating at this frequency, 5D, 60, 70, whatever, right?
All right, take her easy, CP. Have a good night, buddy.
You're seeing a different sky. You're seeing a different planet itself. The planet looks different, right? So,
God, he's such a stupid
asshole.
asshole.
It's just the reptiles.
Okay, more flamencoology dance questions. Actually, I do want to hear his stupid and uneducated take on David Icke. CP is leaving chat. CP is no longer in the chat, y'all. I think she's trying to hit on Jokester, TBH. She would be way better off with Jokester. He would treat her right, not like Cavi. I mean, obviously, I'm interested for myself, but if Jokester made a move on that and got in there, I wouldn't even be that mad about it. Look, I mean, and frankly, don't cuck for Jokester. I'm not cucking. I'm wingmanning, you know? Obviously I deserve her, but listen, guys, as long if any one of us was the lucky one to get her, I would support, to the best man go the spoils, as they say. See, Ethan's giving Jokester his spot too. And yeah, he wouldn't even have to exaggerate the breasts in his drawings. Like, listen, I'm not giving up on it. I'm not cucking out to Jokester. I'm just being realistic. That would be a pretty good match, You know, as one of Jokester's homies, I would support that 1,000%. And she has giant tits, and Jokester's really into that. So listen, I'm not giving up my spot. I am staying in line. You know, I'm in the giant line of nude men holding flowers and chocolates. Okay. I'm gonna ask her about her day. Okay, that's my plan. But listen, I support any, to the best man go the spoils. Okay, that's what it is. Could be any one of us, but could also be the Jokester. Just saying. She's obviously telling a deep truth, and he's just lying to her like Grima Wormtongue. So real. If she becomes the communal whole, Jokester can obviously join it. Well, yeah, sure. Jokester likes big native mamas. That's true. But he also likes big cannons. Also true. So listen, I'd be more upset if I didn't already fuck her respectively. Well, me too. I mean, listen, we all got it in during our days in the SSP, but let's be real, guys. Yeah, it's like Ethan said, if this video was her and Jokester, that would be a major improvement, man. I would not even be mad. Hugh, have you thought about wearing your headphones and hat to the McDonald's drive-thru to hit on the Blasian honeys? No, do you think that would work? Do you think they'd be into that? I could definitely do that. For sure, I could do that. I think that would work. That's very interesting. I think she just needs to do the inverse of her whiteface makeup for Jokester. Yeah, I mean, she is already starting to clownify a bit, so it's kind of a match made in heaven. But like, you know, obviously, I'm still waiting in line, fully nude, chocolates, flowers in hand, waiting to make my pitch. You know. So whoever gets there, but it can't be Cavi. That's the thing. It needs to be one of us, not Cavi. He's evil. He's doing evil things. It's very distressing, very disgusting.
Don't look around. It's just the reptiles go back to sleep, you know. And that's kind of the message that we feel strongly about David Icke. Although he is quite sovereign. I mean, there are people within the political community who are just full of shit and causing tons of trouble. He probably isn't that, but he probably could, after 30 years of research, have done a little bit better than the reptile invasion is here. I guess he's covering political. I watched a couple of his YouTube videos a few weeks ago, and he covers like political things in the UK. And like, okay, good. I mean, after 30 years of
fully nude in the line is the new meta. But most guys, you know, aren't going to think to bring chocolates and flowers. And also, he's totally running cover for reptoids right now. Which is very sick, very twisted. Well, because he's literally a reptile, guys. Like, it's obvious. That's why he's counter-signaling David Icke, friend of the show. Yeah, he's clearly very reptilian, very evil.
UFO research, I'd hope you...
That's why he's slathering troon makeup all over a perfect, beautiful angel, because reptoids don't discover sort of perfect feminine beauty like guys like us do. Cavi blinks sideways and has a forked tongue. That's confirmed. We've all seen it. He did it just now.
We got further than the reptiles have come to invade.
Yeah.
And also, since he's a reptile, that's why his lips are such a weird color, because all his coloring is makeup, and he misapplied it, basically. It's crazy to think people are just discovering David Icke. Is it Icke? I never know. David Icke. People are just discovering David Icke in 2020. I know, it's crazy. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, really.
I hope.
I mean, in Cavi's case, literally, he is a fucking idiot and like an evil guy who deserves nothing but pain.
Yeah. So that's essentially how we feel about David Icke.
Yeah, be wary.
So this is the other question. Does this line up, so someone commented on our Earth
Yo, Mary Beaver mentioned, yo. Let's go.
Guardian
One of our top girls.
video. I have never heard of
He is literally the bug guy from Men in Black. So true. He's so disgusting.
Mary Beaver. I don't know the story behind it, but I'm willing to do some more research and dive into her work and knowing a little bit about that type of information.
Mary Beaver, my first love. I like Ike Mike. His network is iconic. I just mean because of COVID stuff, it turned a lot of normies into this type of guy. Yeah. A lot of people they've taken too many red pills via Instagram Reels. They didn't pause to let their body absorb the red pills, and they are overdosing on red pills.
but I can't really answer on this question until I do some more research on this.
Yeah, I'm aware who Mary Beaver.
Okay, and what's crazy too is her name has been changed to Arya, and Cavi is now Starseed Netlink. Like, he's literally stealing her identity and doing a Genesis Peorage, like, Troonception thing to her. It's so disgusting to look at.
Whereas I don't know about her True King of Earth stuff. I don't know about that.
Well, you wouldn't because you're stupid.
We'll have to get
asshole.
back to you on that. I don't. We could check that and then check that by the Guardians. I mean, look, we put a whole episode out. The channel message from the Guardians episode we put out is literally the video before.
Yeah, he's grooming her. He's human trafficking her. He's stealing her identity. He's like trooning himself into her. It's genuinely disgusting. Arya is such a beautiful name, but Audrey reminds me of Audrey Horne from Twin Peaks. True. Twin Peaks, you know, that reminds me of something else about her too, which is kind of interesting. He is less knowledgeable than her and has changed her whole shtick, completely sapped all the mirth. I know, and he has a negative canthil tilt. He's such a piece of shit asshole who I hate.
We talk all about Kim Gogan, or we have an episode on Kim Gogan, and the video we did before that is.
I'm not moving my information to another platform or anything like that. Everything that you want to know is going to be free and accessible to you. So everything is either going to be posted on my account and
exactly the Twin Peaks of her Gemini soul and her large bosom. Send this stream. She needs to know how her protectors feel. Maybe it might be time to finally reveal ourselves. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I mean, the situation is so dire now. Look at this horrible, giant, hooked nose bastard. We might need to take drastic measures.
I mostly use Kavi's account as a backup account for videos now, and I also I don't use Rumble as much, but yeah, this is essentially us moving forward and letting people know, like, hey, we're the new Guardians of Earth.
Yeah, essentially, we
Cavi is not the Guardian of Earth. Fact check, false. He's actually one of the greatest threats to Earth, in my opinion, which is accurate.
We're told that
the Shadow Council of the Protectors of the Honkers. Real. Yeah, he's tricking her. This is clear tricknology. We've all seen it a million times before. He's tricking her. Hashtag not my
basically
guardian.
I was offered very specifically, do you want to train for this role? You came here for the role, it's your choice. So do you want to train for it? And over the course of a few weeks, I said yes. And then I started all this training and my psychic abilities have kind of ramped up. And basically, I'm not going to get into all the details.
No. We can never let Jordan know what we do on the Noid streams. We can never share this information with him. It would damage him too much. He wouldn't know how to process it. He hasn't had the full sort of course of training that we've had. We've had real training, not like Javi. He's had fake training. He's a liar. But Jordan doesn't have the training yet either, so I don't know if he would be able to handle learning the truth of Noid stream.
But essentially, we are focused completely, fully, on a law of one basis. So highest and best timeline for all. This is in alignment with the Guardians. This is in alignment with the Kavuna race line, Cedar race line from 15D, and the Guardians.
They indeed. Yeah, Ethan, get it all out, brother. Better out than in.
Represent that entirely.
Well, one of the things that we also, we're going to be doing a whole gigantic video tomorrow, doing the entire history
of the Cedar race lines and how everything.
Okay, he's interrupting her. He's so rude. He's clearly an abuser. He's an abuser. He's abusing her right now and also human trafficking her. And he's interrupting her too, which sort of indicates the other things I said regarding human trafficking. I also hate how he cuts her off. Yo, what's up, Nick? Yeah, we're all chud raging out at how rude Cavi is. He's such a bastard. He's such a bloody bastard. You fucking bloody.
So we're kind of talking about stuff that's going to come out tomorrow a little bit, but.
So we have a lot of information, but one of the pieces of information I do want to share today that they did hand us is that the mantis.
Yeah, typical Cavi L. It's so funny how these people have the means to make hours of long videos every day just rambling and never changing the formula unless they get groomed. Yeah, I feel like as a guy who has a job, I often feel like I'm a total sucker because it seems like 50% of people just like don't have jobs and also have money, which presumably they get like from me. Indirectly. It's honestly really crazy that he just has her channel now. Like, he used Starseed Netlink now. He's laying down crazy style or something. Like, what does he have that I don't? I know, I've been asking myself that question all frickin' day. He's literally stolen her channel. He's such a bastard. He's not even that hot.
Race that
It's really
everybody
crazy.
talks about.
I can only assume he's using technology that I'm too like moral to use. That's my sort of only assumption on the matter. But guys, this is very distressing. I'm very raged out. Everyone, you're going to have to do some calming exercises before bed if you're going to want to get to sleep tonight, because we're all so angry. But the time has come for us to close this week's investigations. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to listen to some beautiful music to soothe our weary souls. And that song will begin now.
Hello.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
I love this song.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
I guess you wonder where I've been.
Thank you for joining me on tonight's Noid stream.
Search to find the love within.
If you're not on the Patreon, get on the Patreon.
Came back to
Let you know, got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Ooh. Got a very funny Patreon episode I'm gonna upload right now. Get on the Patreon, y'all. This week's Patreon episode, it's a banger. You're gonna love it.
I got a thing for you, and I
I can't let go. Ooh. But it's always a slice, guys. We always have a fun time hanging out with the boys on Noid Stream Sunday.
what you would do for love.
You try everything, can't give up. Ooh. I know we got into some dark stuff this week, y'all. Let the music heal you.
My friends wonder what is
What's wrong with me?
Well, I mean the days from your
Love you see.
I came back to
Let you know.
got
It's a thing for you. I can't let go. Oh. Thank you for nodding out with me, y'all. Get on the Patreon if you're not on the Patreon. Check it out. Sonic Wednesday coming back this week, y'all.
do for love. You tried everything.
Yeah, apparently the Whatever podcast is on. Maybe that can soothe your troubled soul. I know we're all angry, but let the music heal you.
Make me do for love.
Love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do.
Make me do for love what I would not do.
Make me do for love what I would not do. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for singing with me. Have a good night. Have a good week. Start the week off strong. Start the week off strong, end the week off strong. Sonic Wednesday in the middle. It's going to be fun this week. Thank you for singing with me, y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.